Price of freedom is death. We are coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. I appreciate every single last one of you all for being with us this evening. We got much to discuss because your brother was in DC just the other day. Yes, indeed, I was in DC representing, standing up for foundational Black Americans, making sure we got our business taken care of. Now, you all know that, me and Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, don't have the best relationship. Me and some other brothers and sisters. So I went out there, Jessica Jackson, our sister Jessica Jackson, shout out to Miss Jackson, and our brother Dave. We went out there, all went together. Other people from the Chicago Flips Red, they was there. Zoe, Danny, they were all there. They traveled separately though, but they were there. So we went there and we represented because it was a big day. All right. So the House committee, what they did is they had a hearing on sanctuary cities where they invited, or they demanded, it wasn't really an invite, and we've been talking about this for a while, but they demanded that the sanctuary city mayors, the mayors that are sitting up there saying that it doesn't matter what you think, we're going to do what we want to do for all of these illegal immigrants. These are the mayors that allowed these illegal immigrants to run their city to the ground. These are the mayors that allowed the immigrants to run rampant in their city, raising the crime rate, raising the debt rate, raising the unemployment. Everything that has happened bad because these mayors have allowed it to. So as you see, you have Mayor Eric Adams of New York. You have Mayor Mike Johnston, that's Johnston with a T, of Denver, Colorado. You have Mayor Brandon Johnson, without a T, without a S, T, Johnson, of Chicago. And then you have Mayor Michelle Wu from Baltimore. These are the mayors of New York, Denver, Chicago, and Baltimore. Now, y'all already know. Every single last one of you guys know. All of y'all know. Y'all know who I came there for. We all know who I came there for. We all already know that. But, I got a job to do. I do have a job to do. So I'm going to do my job regardless of that. What we're going to do is, as you guys are coming in, we got a bunch of people already in here, haven't even been the first few minutes yet. What we're going to do, Eric Adams, oh yeah, Eric Adams was there. What we're going to do, and y'all already with the super chats and everything like that. Oh, y'all like the glasses. A lot of people love the glasses. I've been getting so many compliments, so many on the glasses. Y'all like the glasses? Do you? I had to rearrange some things so the reflection doesn't get in so y'all can actually see the glasses without the reflection from the laptop. So I had to rearrange some things. But if y'all like the glasses, let me know. Let me know. I like to know that. If y'all like the glasses, let me know. Okay, y'all, let me know. While you guys are letting me know that, hopefully you guys are actually hitting that like button. I hope you guys are hitting that like button. I hope you guys are hitting that subscribe button. I hope you guys are doing all of this stuff because I need you guys to do that, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing the copyright disclaimer. So it is very well established that every video, every clip that we play thus forth is under the guise of fair use. So as I'm doing that, what I need you all to do is to hit that like. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so before we get started, very important that we get started with this. I want to show you guys, this is a picture of Eric Adams, Brandon Johnson, Mike Johnston, and Michelle Wu, and then some other dude off to the side. He's not a mayor or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. All with their hands raised because they are testifying under oath. So that means that anything that they say throughout the course of the hearing is under oath. Very important that we get this established early on. Early on, we get this established. All right. So we're gonna get to these clips real quick. Actually, hold on. Let me see something real fast. Y'all just heavy with the super chats already. We already got one from What's Next, aka DSB. Thank you. Yo, double C23, thank you very much. A super sticker. DSB, another super sticker. He heavy with the super stickers. I hate everybody with a super sticker, but I don't hate you. Thank you. And then DSB with another super sticker. Oh, they all done. DSB with another super sticker. Brother, he's supporting today. And another super sticker. You're like, you look very cool, my warrior brother, with or without glasses, my warrior. Thank you. You know, I appreciate that. I do. You know, I can rock it with the glasses. I can rock it without the glasses. All right. But a lot of people in the chat room, they say they like the glasses. So I appreciate your compliments. But let's get started, y'all. This is question number 1. I want y'all to know this is how it started off. All right.
In 2017, Denver.
All right, here we go.
To begin questions for 5 minutes, and I have limited time, so I want to start with a simple yes or no question, and I'm going to hold you all to that because after the first question, then we'll allow for a little more time. But Mayor Johnston, in 2017, Denver prohibited city officials, including corrections officers, from assisting and cooperating with any investigation, detention, or arrest procedures related to federal immigration laws. The city also stated that federal immigration authorities shall not be granted access or allowed to use the secure areas of any city or county jail. Mayor Johnston, is Denver a sanctuary city?
A lot of folks use that term.
Yes or no?
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Folks use that term differently. I can tell you what Denver does. We do not.
Okay, I take that as a yes. Mayor.
Now, this is a very simple question. Is Denver a sanctuary city? Right now, you gonna see ain't none of them trying to admit that these are sanctuary cities. None of them. Okay, it's a yes or no.
No, yes or no. I take that as a yes. Mayor Johnson, on March 10th, 2023, you posted on X that Chicago must lead and live by the promise to be a sanctuary city. Is Chicago a sanctuary city?
A 40-year policy of being a welcoming city.
Yes.
A 40-year policy of a welcoming city.
No. First off, Johnson didn't want to say sanctuary city. He doesn't want to say the word sanctuary. Okay, because us as foundational Black Americans, we've put a bad connotation on the word sanctuary city because they're not using this as a sanctuary city. All right. Because in order for it to be a sanctuary city, you'd have to also prove that these are asylum seekers. These are not asylum seekers. So now they're not saying sanctuary city. What they're saying is welcoming city. This is a welcoming city. All right. Just keep this in mind. So let's continue.
Mayor Wu, in November 2024, you gave an interview noting that you served on the city council a decade ago when the Boston Trust Act was first passed. You said in that interview that in terms of Boston's policy, there is a prohibition on resources and personnel going to enforce civil immigration detainers, meaning Boston police and other departments cannot cooperate with ICE when it comes to detaining on civil warrants. Mayor, is Boston a sanctuary city?
Boston is a safe city.
I take that as a yes. And Mayor Adams, on November 12, 2024, you said, quote, this is a sanctuary city, but I must comment that you have, of the witnesses today of the major cities, you have publicly stated that you were willing to work with ICE on detaining the most criminal illegals, and I want to publicly thank you for that. But my question to you, sir, is New York City a sanctuary city?
Based on our classification, yes.
Okay. Last year in a Boston suburb.
Now, when Eric Adams just said, hey, yes, I knew Eric Adams ain't there. He's trying to get that case dropped. Eric Adams is there, and Eric was playing ball the whole time, at least with the Republicans. Eric, he was like, yeah, everybody all like, well, no, it's a sanctuary. It's a welcoming city. And he was like, yeah, it is. It is.
An illegal alien raped and impregnated his 14-year-old daughter while living in a shelter for illegal aliens. Mayor Wu, under Boston law, would you turn this criminal over to ICE on a detainer?
Whenever there's a criminal warrant, Boston police enforce that and hold people accountable.
So would you turn that
Now,
criminal over to
I got it. I got to break it down. Now he's talking about somebody who assaulted a child, his own daughter, and impregnated her. And then he asks a very simple question: would you turn this person over to ICE? Okay, you think that they would, but listen to what she says.
on a detainer?
Whenever there's a criminal warrant, Boston police enforce that and hold people accountable.
So would you turn that criminal over to ICE?
This happened outside the city of Boston, but I can tell you in the city, whenever someone commits a crime, whenever there's a criminal warrant, we hold them accountable. If ICE deems that they are dangerous enough to obtain a criminal warrant, and the Boston police will enforce it.
Will you turn that criminal over to ICE?
We follow the laws,
I
and
take
we
that
make
as a no.
sure that everyone.
In Chicago, an illegal
Do you see how many times he had to ask that question? Would you turn that over to ICE? And then she's, well, we will hold them accountable. What does that mean? He asked the question 3 times, and she gave this very weird, vague answer about, we will hold them accountable. Okay, well, what does that mean? You could have said, if it was a yes, she would have said yes. So it's a no. That's the thing. He
alien
continued.
who is a suspected member of a violent foreign gang who was brought into custody for his potential involvement in a murder. He was released when Cook County declined to press charges. This illegal alien is also facing charges for kidnapping and sexually assaulting his former girlfriend last year. Now he's on the streets. Mayor Johnson, under Chicago law, would you turn this criminal over to ICE on a detainer?
Oh, listen to what Johnson says. Y'all brace yourselves, okay? Because he's talking about a criminal in Chicago who has a felony, who has a felony when it comes to sex crimes, who has a felony when it comes to violence. Listen to what Brandon Johnson has to say about turning this person into ICE.
Our local law enforcement works hard every day to get criminals off the streets of Chicago.
Would you turn that criminal over to ICE? That's the problem. That's one of the topics of this conversation. That's one of the problems we've heard from Tom Hammond and from the Homeland Security, is that in your cities, when someone's apprehended for a crime, and ICE is now, with this new federal policy, wanting to come in and deport the criminal alien, that you will not cooperate with ICE. Will you turn that criminal over to ICE?
And we do not harbor criminals. Our local police department works hard every single day to ensure that the city of Chicago is
Yes
safe.
or no? Will you turn the criminal over to ICE?
With a criminal warrant from the federal government, our local law enforcement repeatedly collaborates with federal agents.
So you're saying publicly today, you will turn that alien over to ICE in a safe place like a jail, and not turn him out on the street and say, here you go, ICE, good luck. You will turn that criminal over to ICE.
With a criminal warrant, as we have done for 40 years.
Should that criminal be turned over to ICE?
With a
Mayor?
criminal warrant, they are subject to the federal laws, and that includes deportation.
My time has expired.
I was actually in the Capitol listening the whole time. What does this? Do you see this? Do you guys see what we have to deal with? This is the mayor of Chicago. Do y'all see what we got to deal with here? Y'all see how, now I've met him personally, face to face. Okay. And I had a conversation. Do you guys see how unreasonable? It's a very simple question. Would you turn him into ICE? Well, our local law enforcement works in collaboration with federal law enforcement to get dangerous. That's a yes or no question. So the answer, if it was a no, if it was a yes, the answer would be yes. They would say, oh yeah, of course. We don't want dangerous criminals. He has a very soulless, almost robotic. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen it the whole time. Brandon Johnson had a very drained energy about him. And it was something, they were all kind of off because they were all on their hands and, on pins and needles, really. So they were not really acting themselves. It was something particularly weird about the way Johnson was behaving. He was behaving like his brain chip malfunctioned or something. He was behaving like somebody sucked the soul from his heart. That's how he was behaving. All right. I think I don't know if he has one more question or we'll get to the next question. Let's see.
But again, the point that we've got to iron out today is that we have to have cooperation. It is federal law to turn over those illegal criminals to ICE. And we have heard reports, and many of you have said publicly, that you are going to obstruct that.
First off, Johnson said he's not, and we've showed this so many times. If y'all new here, y'all got to make sure y'all subscribe, because my subscribers who've been subscribed to me for the longest time, y'all already know for a fact Johnson has said repeatedly several times that he is in no way going to cooperate with ICE. He said that a bunch of times on camera. Several times he said, we're not working with ICE, we're not going to collaborate with ICE. He is very much so opposed to deportations. He doesn't want to work with ICE, so much so he argued with aldermen, and y'all remember this. Anytime I tell y'all to remember something, I want you guys to remember it, because it's going to be relevant later coming up. He said to Alderman Raymond Lopez, the Alderman Raymond Lopez wanted to cooperate to at least get the dangerous criminals out, at least cooperate as far as that is concerned with ICE, similar to how Eric Adams is. Brandon Johnson didn't want to do that. Did you guys know? We talked about it on my last thing when we did the video or live stream about Chicago. Brandon didn't want to do that at all. He didn't even want to cooperate with ICE as far as the criminals are concerned. Remember I said that, because that's going to be relevant coming up later. All right. Remember that. All right. Good. Get into the next clip. And this, first off, this meeting was over 6 hours long, so I'm not going to be able to play the whole thing. But let's get to it.
How about you? How many? According to my records, you, Mayor Johnson. How about you? How many? According to my records, you have welcomed 51,648 illegal aliens to your sanctuary city. So I'd ask you, sanctuary from what?
If you're referring to the number of individuals that were bused from Governor Abbott without any coordination, the 52,000 individuals that were seeking asylum, those individuals were bused to us. I passed a bus ordinance to work to coordinate with the governor of Texas. He refused to do that. But that transfer of individuals was the result of the governor of Texas, not the result of a welcoming city ordinance.
Welcoming city ordinance. So you're not welcoming these people that came here illegally?
The individuals that were bused to us from the border.
They were not welcome in Chicago? You didn't welcome them? You didn't provide them sanctuary?
So the welcoming city ordinance is pretty straightforward. It allows for our local law enforcement to focus on local policies, and that's why we're seeing a decline in violence.
So you don't care about
What? Do y'all see Johnson just every time he opened his mouth, he putting his foot in it? Okay, that's something the Democrats been doing ever since the election. He says, what a welcoming city, because he doesn't want to call it a sanctuary city. That's what it is. Okay, ain't no welcoming. What? Let me ask y'all a question. Okay, we're all intelligent people here. All right. What is the difference between a welcoming city and a city that is not welcoming? Because if you say we don't have a sanctuary city, we have a welcoming city, you have to now define what a welcoming city is. And his definition of a welcoming city is a city where law enforcement focus on local affairs. That's a welcoming city. That doesn't, those two things don't make no sense. So you're not, and I showed you guys, he testified under oath. And now he's saying a welcoming city is a city where the police focus on local affairs, as if that's not what every city does. Every city does that. All the police do that. So what is the difference between a welcoming city? Now, what he's sitting up there talking about is, did you not welcome these people in? Whether you call it welcoming, whether you call it sanctuary, whether you call it an invitation city, regardless of whatever you want to call it, whatever cute nickname you called it or came up with last week, are they not allowed and permitted and sanctioned in your city? Have you not done that? And he keeps trying to deflect and be all like, well, before I say anything, Greg Abbott bust them here, and it was really under Greg Abbott, and Greg Abbott, and Greg Abbott, and Greg Abbott. You did not say that they need to leave. That's what we were saying. We were saying, hey, stop the buses from entering at all. It was also planes too. Don't forget that. It was also planes. Stop the buses, stop the planes, stop all of that from coming. You can't blame Greg Abbott. And the reason why he can't blame Greg Abbott is because we went to City Hall. The black community in Chicago went to City Hall because we wanted a referendum. Let me get this off the screen so I can really connect with you guys. We all went to City Hall so we can get a referendum to reverse Chicago being a sanctuary city. We did. It was a big thing. I was there. I was recording the whole thing the entire time. It happened. The fights damn near broke out at City Hall, and we were all there because we wanted the status of sanctuary city removed from Chicago. We crowded in, and we were there for pretty much the whole thing was about a week. After that, it was so much so bad where Brandon Johnson couldn't take it. He just turned the lights off. They literally in the City Hall, bam, blackout in City Hall. Then you heard this thing in the microphone talking about City Hall has been rescheduled to the next day. So we went the next day, still crowd full of people, and they all like, you know what? We're just gonna cancel this whole thing. Just canceled the whole thing. Just scrapped it. So we went to reverse sanctuary city status because we saying, hey, this is a problem. First off, it's been a problem, but this is a really big epidemic at this point, and we got to stop the bleeding. So let's cut this sanctuary city stuff off because they're still coming. Brandon Johnson stopped us from doing that. So he permitted them to come in. So all of that sanctuary city, welcoming city, invitation city, all of these little nicknames that he's trying to throw people off with or trying to blame Greg Abbott for, he can't do that. He has to take full accountability for them coming over here because he had the opportunity for it to stop and he didn't. He stopped us from stopping them. Let's continue.
About federal law enforcement policies, only local policies.
We comply with all laws. What I do care about is this body, Washington, passing comprehensive immigration.
So let me ask you this. Chicago residents reported 28,443 violent crimes during 2024 alone, cases of aggravated assault rising to the highest level in 2 decades. Now, also, state funds, $160 million were issued to illegal alien job assistance shelters in Chicago. You're the mayor of Chicago. Do you think that your residents or the residents of your state should be paying for that more than they should be paying for their own needs, their own roads, their own public safety? I mean, who elected you? The people that came illegally, whether they were sent to you or not, or the people that reside in Chicago? Who elected you?
Damn. See, hey, that's what we've been saying for the longest time. We're the people who got him in. The residents got him in, not these people who came from the bus. Okay? So who elected him? Who should you be serving? Who should your allegiance be to?
And who do you serve?
The people of Chicago elected me as the 57th mayor of the city of Chicago, and we serve all the residents of the city of Chicago.
Illegal or not, criminal or not. How many of the...
We serve all the residents of the city of Chicago. These people are not residents. Well, I mean, they're living there, but they're not legally residents because they're not legally citizens. They're not. They're not legally supposed to be in the country.
662,566 illegal aliens with criminal histories that ICE has reported are now residing in Chicago.
Someone will have to get back with you with that number. I don't keep account of.
Do you take immigration information from criminals as they're arrested and processed? Do you take immigration information?
Our local law enforcement focuses on getting all violent individuals off the streets.
Do you determine whether they're here
Chicago.
legally, what their immigration status is as a function of your justice system?
Gentlemen, time's expired, but please feel free to answer the question, Mayor.
The Welcome in City ordinance ensures that our local residents communicate and trust local law enforcement to ensure that criminals and crime is being addressed.
So you
That's
have
why
no
violent
idea how
crime
many were legal.
has
Thank
gone
you,
down
Mr.
in the
Chairman.
city
I'll
of
yield.
Chicago. Thank you very much,
Chair
Congressman.
now recognizes
Chairman, have you
Mr.
never-
Connor.
He just don't want to answer. He don't want to answer that now. I'm telling you, Brandon Johnson did such a terrible job. I think out of all of them, he did the worst, to be very honest. And it might be a little personal. I might be, I can see, yeah, maybe it is a little personal thing where I'm saying he did the worst, but I'm not the only one with that opinion. By far, by absolute far, a lot of people I've heard, everybody I've heard who've talked about it, now that is from the Chicago side, said he did the worst, though. Oh, but this continues. They didn't do good, and I'm saying he did the worst out of everybody who did bad. Listen to this.
And all of the
Nancy
mayors
Mason's
here
on
today
here.
are actively working. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All of the mayors here today are actively working to harm the American people you represent. You all have blood on your hands. I'm going to ask a series of yes or no questions today, and I would like to remind all of you, you are under oath. I only want a yes or a no to my questions. My first question, do you acknowledge breaking into our country is a crime? Mayor Adams, yes or no? Do you acknowledge breaking into our country is a crime?
I acknowledge.
Yes or no?
I acknowledge.
Okay, Honorable Johnson, he's not going to answer the question. Yes or no? Is breaking into our country against the law? Yes or no?
Depends how you cross the border.
Okay.
It depends on how you cross the border. She asks, do you acknowledge that breaking in to our country is a crime? And then he says, it depends on how you cross the border. Well, if you cross the border illegally, why does it matter? Why does it matter? It's a crime either way. That is literally like somebody saying, is breaking into your house a crime? You're at your house and somebody breaks in. Is it a crime? Yes or no? Well, it depends on how they broke in. Did they pick the lock and unlock the locked door? Did they pick it to break it in? Did they bust the door down? Did they climb in through a window? Like, I mean, we don't know. I mean, it depends what breaking and entering is. It depends on how they broke in. That's literally what he just said, y'all. He literally just said, it depends on how they broke into the country, if it's a crime or not. Okay. That's literally what he said. Okay. This is the mayor of Denver, so y'all know. Lord.
Some folks
Mayor
have
Johnson,
status.
yes or no?
Comprehensive immigration
not an
reform
answer.
policies
Mayor
are what's
Wu?
necessary in this.
Mayor
And then Brandon Johnson gonna say comprehensive. Y'all funny say come down the chimney. Exactly. It depends on was it Santa Claus? I mean, Santa Claus, he can break in, but is it breaking in if you're invited? But like, come on, like what does it matter? Did you dig a hole under the floor and come up through the hole? Like, come on. And then Brandon Johnson, do you acknowledge that breaking into the country is a crime? I do. Well, listen to what Brandon Johnson had to say.
Comprehensive immigration
not an
reform.
answer.
He said
Johnson?
comprehensive.
Yes or no?
Comprehensive immigration
not an
reform
answer.
policies
Mayor
are what's
Wu?
necessary in this
Mayor Wu,
moment.
do you have a better
Comprehensive immigration reforms is what necessary. What? Does that answer the question? No, it doesn't.
answer than these gentlemen before you? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, do you believe it's acceptable for illegals who commit heinous crimes be released back into the public instead of being detained and deported? Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Anyone break a crime?
Yes or no? This is not hard. Yes or no?
Anyone that break a crime should be detained.
Okay, Mayor, yes or no?
They should be deported.
Okay, Mayor.
Any individual that
Yes or no?
causes harm
Yes or
and
no?
breaks
Okay,
the
Mayor
law
Wu?
should be held accountable.
This is why you have 6% approval rating, because you suck at answering questions. Mayor Wu? Yes or no?
Anyone who's a public safety threat should be prosecuted.
All right, I have my next question. When an illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history? Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Tell me, say that question again.
Okay, Mayor Johnston. When an illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history? Yes or no?
I will charge and prosecute them.
Yes or no? Okay, well, okay. You said you would go to jail, didn't you?
I will
For
charge and
harboring illegal
prosecute
aliens or
anyone.
something, Mayor Johnson?
Could you repeat your question, please?
When an illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history?
Could you clarify that question?
Okay, Mayor Wu, yes or no?
No, rape is obviously
Then
horrible.
why are you letting rapists back out onto the streets of Boston?
That is not true. That is
Okay.
not what's happening in
when
Boston.
an illegal alien molests a kid, molests an underage kid, do you pat yourself on the back for being compassionate? Mayor Adams?
It's despicable and he should be arrested.
Mayor Johnston?
I prosecute folks that commit crimes like that.
You guys let them out on the streets. Mayor Johnson?
We arrest violent criminals in the city of Chicago.
Mayor Wu?
We investigate, arrest, and prosecute.
You guys don't sound very confident today. Would your city honor an ICE detainer on an illegal alien who rapes kids if one was issued today? Mayor Adams? Yes or no?
In conformance with law, we will honor detainers.
Mayor Johnson?
If there's a criminal warrant, we'll help them pick them up. If there's no criminal warrant, we'll honor a notification request.
Mayor Johnson?
Criminal warrants, we always cooperate with federal agents with a criminal warrant.
Mayor Wu?
Get a criminal warrant, we will enforce.
A criminal warrant. I'm talking about an ICE detainer on an individual who's here illegal who rapes kids. Do you all hate Donald Trump more than you love your country? Mayor Adams?
I respect my president. I respect my
Yes or
country,
no?
and I
You're having the
respect
hardest time
my
today.
Senate.
Mayor Johnston?
I love my country.
Yes or no?
I love my
Okay.
country.
Mayor Johnson?
As the son of a pastor, I love everyone and this country.
Mayor Wu?
I love my country and my city.
Do you all, are you all willing to go to jail for violating federal law? Mayor Adams?
I'm not going to violate federal law, so I don't have to worry about that.
Mayor Johnston?
We don't violate federal law either.
You don't violate federal law.
We do not violate federal law.
Is it violating federal law if you don't honor detainer requests from ICE?
Absolutely not. In fact, the statute Congressman Biggs shared, we explicitly follow. The statute says you cannot prohibit city employees from sharing information about someone's status with the government. We do not prohibit that.
Do you love illegal aliens more than you love your fellow countrymen?
I love all the residents of the city and county.
Mayor Johnston, are you willing to go to jail for violating federal law?
The city of Chicago complies with all laws.
Oh, I highly doubt that. Mayor Wu?
We are not violating federal law.
Mayor Wu, I have a last couple questions for you. Do you believe that ICE arresting a child rapist, quote, threatens everyone's safety, end quote? Yes or no?
No.
Does ICE arresting a murderous MS-13 gang member threaten everyone's safety? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. The clip cuts off right there, but y'all see how they deflected. Y'all seeing how they deflected. So they was looking real bad. Now, y'all check this out. They was looking real bad. They was all looking kind of stuck and bad. They deflected. Here come the Democrats. Oh, here come the Democrats putting on the show, trying to save them. Listen to this. This is Ayanna Pressley.
Mr. Chairman, I have unanimous consent
Subramaniam.
request. Mr. Chairman, have unanimous consent request.
See,
Proceed.
when the Democratic mayors are down bad, except Eric Adams, ain't none of them liked Eric Adams, and I'm gonna show y'all that in a second. But when the Democrats was down bad, here they are making a damn scene, trying to filibuster the whole thing. Listen.
I'd like to seek unanimous consent to enter into the record this article, and I'll do this as a survivor of sexual violence myself. This is from Courts, March 2018.
Without objection, so ordered.
Data from Texas shows that U.S.-born
Without objection, so ordered. We've put it in the record.
I haven't entered it.
You have what?
Mr. Chair, can I have several articles. I need to enter them. Let me just go ahead with what the articles are, what they speak to.
What's the next article?
Let me proceed. Data from Texas shows that U.S.-born Americans commit more rape
Presley,
and murder than immigrants.
Listen, this trend of you
Data
all
from
trying to get
Texas
thrown out of
shows
committee
that
so you can get on
US-born
MSNBC
Americans
is going to
commit
end.
more
We're not
rape.
going to put up with it.
This is
Chair
my
recognizes
procedural
Mr.
right as a
Subramaniam.
member of this committee
You can
to
go.
enter
You can
documents
go with
into the
Mr.
record.
Frost and Mr.
I'm
Green.
reclaiming my time.
That's
you
what
do
you
not
want.
Get to
No.
dictate
Ms. Presley,
how
I've been
I
very.
recite the
I have
articles
been very
for the
accommodating
record.
to you, Mr. Subramaniam.
And I
Start
take
the
particular
clock.
umbrage
Start
as
the
a
clock.
survivor
No, I
of
don't.
sexual violence.
Go.
I will enter
Order.
into the record. This is my right. Thank you.
No. It is Mr. Subramaniam.
Mr. Chair,
No, you know the process of unanimous consent. You are not
I have
recognized.
several articles to enter into the record.
Mr. Subrignon, if you don't go, we're going to recognize Mr. Timmons.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh boy, yeah. They was desperate and they decided to put on a show. They was desperate and they decided to put a damn show on. She literally crashing out. I'm a survivor of sexual violence, and I gotta say that there are more. Essentially, what they're saying is she came out after Nancy. So what she's saying is that there are more people in America who are native-born Americans than who commit sex crimes than immigrants commit sex crimes. That is taken completely out of context because of the fact that there's a huge disparity in the population size that you have between native-born Americans and immigrants. And when she's talking about immigrants, she's really talking about first-generation immigrants. Crazy disparity. So when you use that and you say the blanket statement that, yeah, there's more on this side, yeah, but the population size is a lot larger. Then number two, a lot of the legal, and they keep conflating legal immigration with illegal immigration. A lot of the legal immigrants, they've already had background checks. They've already been vetted. They already are, monitored. The illegal ones, they're trying to conflate with the legal ones. So the data they use for the legal ones, they're trying to say, oh, that's all the same, even when it comes to the illegal ones, which even if you want to say the legal ones and the illegal ones are in this same box together, you still have to account for the fact that the population size between the Native Americans or the natives to America, they're not Native Americans, follow me, are a lot larger than the population size to first generation immigrants. Now I know that it's very simple, but Lord have mercy, they put on a show because they knew the Democrats was looking bad, and they still looking real bad. Oh, they was looking real bad. But real quick, let me give a shout out to my good brother Hurricane with a super sticker. Thank you very much. And then SOV the Dark King, he says blessings to everybody. Thank you so very much. And then we have Dave Young. He says salute to the FBA ancestors, to Afro Elite, and to the FBA lineage. Salute to you too, brother. Thank you very much. Now, they was trying to say, they was crashing out. All of the Democrats were sitting up there giving them a whole bunch of praise, except for Eric Adams. Let me tell y'all, they did not like Eric Adams at all. They didn't. This is what AOC directly had to say to Eric Adams. And she went after Eric Adams twice, but I only got one because we got, I'm trying to be concise here. It was a 6-hour meeting. So,
Mayor Adams, are you aware that the former acting U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon was present at the January 31st meeting between your lawyers and federal prosecutors?
As I stated, and you, Congresswoman, you appear to want to ask the question over and over again, and so I could only give you the appropriate question over and over again. That this
okay,
case
I understand, Mayor Adams. Are you not answering this question because you believe you will incriminate yourself?
To the movement of
I understand.
this case.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to submit to the congressional record Danielle Sassoon's resignation letter from the U.S. Attorney.
Without objection to order.
Thank you so much. In her letter, the former acting U.S. Attorney, a registered Republican, a former clerk for Antonin Scalia, was appointed by President Trump to serve as acting U.S. Attorney, was present at the January 31st meeting between Mayor Adams' attorneys and federal prosecutors. After that meeting with attorneys, the acting U.S. Attorney resigned rather than dismiss the charges against Mayor Adams. In her letter, which I have just submitted to the congressional record, Ms. Sassoon stated that during that January 31st meeting, Mayor Adams's attorneys, quote, repeatedly urged what amounted to a quid pro quo, describing it as a, quote, improper offer of immigration enforcement assistance in exchange for a dismissal of his case.
So what she's essentially saying is the fact that Eric Adams is willing to compromise to some degree with the federal government, it is because he got a case pending on him and he wants a pardon from Donald Trump, which I'm not saying is not true, which may very likely be true. But the thing is that Eric Adams is not doing anything illegal. He's working with the federal government to get criminals off the street. They would rather him with the case. I want you guys to understand, they don't have a problem with Eric Adams' corruption. They don't have a problem with Eric Adams stealing money or bribing and none of that stuff. They all knew all of that. They don't have a problem with that. I want you guys to see, this is not just the only clip I have. They have a problem with Eric Adams, which they don't have proof of, but working and making a deal with Trump. That's their only issue, is that he's not locked in with the rest of the Democrats as far as their agenda.
End quote. The acting U.S. attorney has submitted a former acting U.S. attorney has submitted a letter. And Mayor Adams, do you know how many federal prosecutors total resigned rather than file the motion to drop the charges?
It was reported that 7.
7. Correct. Mr. Chair, I would like to submit another letter from Hagan Scotton, his resignation letter.
Now, she was going after him. She was, said that, and then she brought up a whole bunch of laws and, bills and stuff like that. I'm not going to bore y'all with that. Then came this one dude, this other guy. Went after Eric Adams.
And asking people, I want my police focused on immigration status and asking people about that. I want them focused on preventing violent crimes. But with that, I want to shift gears to address Mayor Eric Adams. Mayor, as has been well discussed in this committee, you are the first sitting mayor in modern New York City history to be indicted while in office. Last year, of course, you were charged with numerous felony counts for soliciting and accepting bribes for nearly a decade from foreign nationals, businessmen, and others, including illegal campaign contributions and luxury travel. On February 10th of this year, the Trump Justice Department instructed federal prosecutors to drop charges against you. This decision caused 7 federal prosecutors, including a Trump appointee, to resign because they believed this was such an enormous miscarriage of the rule of law and law enforcement. Now, as some of my colleagues have pointed out, this was widely reported as a quid pro quo. I know you've denied that. I know you're probably limited in what you can say. But a lot of people out there, including a lot of people in New York City that I know, believe that these charges were dropped in exchange for a quid pro quo for your agreement to help the Trump administration enforce its immigration policies.
I just want to pause it real quick, and I'm going to let him finish. But I want to pause it, and I want you guys to understand something. The Democrats are not upset. Let me be very clear, crystal clear with you all. The Democrats are not upset that Eric Adams has a case pending on him about corruption. They're not upset with him about that. They're upset because of the potential deal that he may or may not have made with Trump for deportation. That's why they're upset. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be saying anything.
So my question for you, Mayor Adams, is actually a very simple one. It's clear that whatever your intentions, whatever actions you take, whether on immigration or anything else, you do not enjoy the trust and confidence of the people of New York City. So my question is, why haven't you not resigned yet? And do you plan to resign today or anytime soon?
Damn.
I'm really surprised after you laid out your strong belief in the country
It's a yes/no question.
And what we stand for, that
Why
you are
haven't you
acting
resigned
to
yet,
take away
Mayor
the
Adams?
power
Why have you
of
not
the
resigned
people.
yet?
The
It's
people
not
of
a
the
question that
city
gets to your
elected
lawyers.
me to be
Why
the
have you
mayor,
not resigned yet?
and
Please
you
answer
should
the
not be a
question.
hypocrite and ask the people of the city power to be reserved for them.
Why have you not
I
resigned
was
yet? And
elected
do
by
you
the people of the
intend to
city,
resign anytime
and you
soon,
don't
Mayor?
live in the
Gentlemen's
city.
time's expired. Gentlemen's time's expired.
Now,
Chair recognizes
I want
Mr.
y'all to
Jack.
understand, these are the Democrats. The Democrats was going after Eric Adams like Eric Adams was a Republican. Ain't no loyalty in the game. Ain't no loyalty in the game. The Democrats was defending everybody, praising everybody between Brandon Johnson, Mike Johnston, Michelle Wu, except Eric Adams. That was the only one that they singled out. Was like, he needs to resign. He's doing terrible. He doing the same thing all of the other mayors were, but they was on Eric Adams' bumper the whole time. Ain't none of them said nothing positive about Eric Adams. The only thing is one person kind of said something. Well, no, actually, he was a Republican. My bad. He was actually a Republican who eased up on Eric Adams. But there were some things that the Democrats, and I don't have all the clips ready, so I'm gonna have to go on YouTube. But there were some things that the Democrats was doing that I just can't. I was not rocking with to any degree whatsoever. I was not rocking with. Hold on, And I got to show y'all this. Hold on. I got to show y'all this real quick. Let me pull this up. So I'm just going to pull it up straight off the YouTube website. I already read the copyright thing. Y'all don't get on me. Now look at this. I'm gonna be real brief with this, but look, I don't like when they do stuff like this. Listen to this.
Chair recognizes Mr. Bell from Missouri.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the 80s, there was the war on drugs. That didn't go so well. We essentially created classes of criminals for people, citizens, who just needed help. And I won't recount that entire history, but I don't think that we realized the error of our ways until it impacted more affluent communities, particularly with the opioid epidemic. And so now Republicans have began a new campaign, a war on immigrants. And while Republicans and Democrats both recognize the need to strengthen our borders, instead of sitting down and actually fixing the border situation, as has been alluded to, or actually we did that, but then after supporting it, Republicans voted against it.
Okay, I'm gonna stop that right there. I hate that comparison. I do. That is a very, very disrespectful anti-FBA comparison that he's making right there. It is. Because he's saying, oh, yeah, in the 80s, we had the war on drugs, and that he didn't want to say black. He said that classified certain people as criminals, and we realized the error of our ways when it affected more affluent communities. Didn't want to say white with the opioids. No, the war on drugs was the government plotting and planning against foundational black Americans. The drugs didn't just rain out the sky. Crack cocaine didn't rain out the sky. Okay, it didn't just grow up in people's backyards. The ingredients to make cocaine, do y'all know that that doesn't exist in America? Do you know that people get the ingredients for cocaine outside of America? So that means that people bought cocaine from outside of America to America, and that means that they planted it there in the communities. They knew what was going on. You think black folk been lying about that this whole time? They knew it. It was a war. They couldn't necessarily say, okay, we want a war against black people, so we'll put crack cocaine and all these drugs and all these weapons and all this stuff in the community, and then we'll just lock them all up like Joe Biden was doing. Okay, so you want to talk about, yeah, we learned from the war on drugs. Did y'all? Because you've been cheerleading Joe Biden's ass, and he's one of the main ones locking anybody up, him and his other sister girl, Kamala Harris. Y'all was the one putting the drugs and all of that stuff in the community. Then here comes Joe Biden with the crime bill, talking about it doesn't matter if it was our fault. Doesn't matter if we failed them. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. Lock them up. They don't need to be on the streets. They don't need to touch my mother, my son, my this, my that. That was Joe Biden who did that. So the fact that you have the audacity to revoke the crack epidemic and then say, yeah, and the Republicans want to have a war on immigrants, that's not the same thing. Ain't nobody doing nothing to them. They're entering, breaking the law, and stealing resources that don't belong to them, belong to us. That's not the same thing. And I don't like how they keep trying to tie our history and our suffering, our struggles to what they got going on. How the hell is the war on drugs the same thing as deportation for illegal immigrants? Explain that to me. But this is a black congressperson from Missouri, and he's representing a lot of black people, but this is what he believes. This is why we can't get anywhere, because our struggles don't get used. Now, he's not saying this on behalf of reparations. He would never. He's not saying this on behalf of a hate crime bill. He would never. He's not saying this on behalf of foundational black Americans. He would never. But he's using our struggle as a ramp for other group of people who are not only not struggling, but also breaking the law. That's what he's doing. I couldn't stand that. I was sitting up there watching that. I'm like, did he really have the audacity to do that? And he did. He did. He had the nerve to do that. That's the stuff that pisses me off, man. I'm sorry. That's the stuff. When I saw that, I was like, man, I don't appreciate that at all. Okay, I don't appreciate that at all. But he wasn't the only Democrats. The Democrats made a fool out of themselves, man. Let me tell you, they did. Oh, they made a fool out of themselves. But y'all know, ain't nobody gonna sit up there and not make a fool out of themselves, or ain't nobody gonna miss an opportunity to make a fool. Then everybody's favorite Congresswoman, homegirl, the Congress homegirl, Jasmine Crockett. Yep, Jasmine Crockett. Here we go.
That are here. And I really quickly want to touch on something, because I know that many of you prepared for today's hearing by making sure that you got a little bit of information about immigrants and crime in your cities. Let me ask each of the mayors, just yes or no. Have any of you been made aware of any immigrant that has had 34 felony convictions that has still been able to roam around in your cities? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
34 felony convictions.
No,
from the immigrants. Anybody?
I'm not aware.
Okay. Oh, oh my God. Then now she's gonna bring up Trump's felony convictions. These are not these are not violent felonies. Trump wasn't moving dope. Trump didn't get caught with a whole bunch of cocaine or something like that. Trump wasn't moving illegal guns. Trump's felony convictions was really under him, I guess, paying off some type of porn star or something. But to be honest, you gonna talk about the crime Donald Trump did to the crime these immigrants are doing? That's not a comparison you want to make, baby. That's not a comparison you want to make. Oh, that's not a, oh my God. Oh, and this is, first off, it's such a reach. Plus, it's a terrible reach. It's a terrible comparison. And that's not what nobody talking about. But okay, let's let her go. Lord, when I saw it, I was like, Lord. When they said Jasmine Crockett, I'm like, oh, what is she going to do? And this is what she does. Oh, God.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just curious, because we are so concerned about crime. And I know that my Republican colleagues would never want anybody with 34 felony convictions roaming around, because that could be a danger to the community. But I will move on. The Republicans put more effort into producing their little propaganda trailer for this hearing than they have into reforming America's immigration system. And that's why we're here today. In fact, Republicans are beating up on the vast majority of you about what you're doing for your citizens. But the last time I checked, you're actually showing up. You may or may not be aware, but the NRCC just instructed Republicans to stop their town hall meetings because their constituents were showing up and telling them to do your jobs. If I had to sum up some of what you have said thus far today, I would sum it up as you have been trying to tell them as politely as you can to do their jobs. Oh, okay. In fact, we know that they have not done their jobs, and so they're trying to force you to do it for them by turning your local law enforcement officers into ICE agents. They have this fake outrage about how immigrants are stealing resources and jobs from Americans when residents of Boston, Chicago, New York City, and Denver are subsidizing public services in their districts and their states. Because the Republicans refuse to ensure.
What is that? What are you talking about? We subsidize them. Yeah. The citizens subsidize the city. The citizens, when we pay the taxes to the city uses the taxes for the city. She thought she ate with that. She really did. She thought she made a mic drop point with that. Nah, baby, pick that mic up. You shouldn't have dropped that. You shouldn't actually have a mic. You shouldn't have a mic right now. What are you doing? The citizens of Chicago have been pushing against this mass immigration for the longest time. What are you talking about? What did you just say? She's literally just saying things. That's like me saying, what they're saying that you're not doing a good job, but you got people living in your city. Man, what does that mean? I don't know. Y'all need to help me. I don't understand what this means.
Sure that their constituents earn a livable wage. Look, They don't have a plan to fix immigration in America because they don't want to. Mass deportation isn't a plan. Arresting kids in schools or worshipers in church isn't a plan. But there are important points to discuss as it relates to immigration in America. So, Mr. Beer, in January, you testified before the Judiciary Subcommittee on Immigration, Integrity, Security, and Enforcement. During that hearing, we played a little game called Rhetoric or Reality. Do you remember that?
I remember, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead for round two. Why don't we? Rhetoric or reality? Immigrants are a burden to the American taxpayers because they deplete our federal resources.
That would be rhetoric.
Correct.
Now, first off, let's be clear, and this is the little disingenuous wordplay that they use. She's saying immigrants. This hearing is not about immigrants, blanket in general, any and everybody who is an immigrant. This hearing is about illegal immigration and the result of Biden opening up the border with his term, the 4 years of illegal immigration. Okay, we're talking about all of the people who bum rushed the border and illegally broke in. That's who we're talking about. Now, you say immigrants are a drain on our federal resources. Well, if you say it like that, then it can easily be said, no, of course not. They contribute so much to the economy. They contribute so much to society. They're just so great and we need them so much. Of course not. Yeah, you can say that when you put it in that way. But if you say, hey, the last 4 years, have these illegal immigrants been a drain on our society, in our economy? You have to say yes. But she didn't word it that way. She worded it in a different way because this allows this dude to have the opportunity to be all like, oh, no, they are so great to the economy and they subsidize the economy so well and we just need them so much and we would perish without them. That's why. That's why.
In fact, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that immigrants will lower U.S. deficits by a cumulative $1 trillion and increase the U.S. economy size by nearly $9 trillion over 10 years. Is that correct?
That is correct.
In 2023, 47 million immigrants paid nearly $652 billion in taxes, $58.1 billion in taxes alone into Texas. Rhetoric or reality? During his first administration, Trump improved enforcement of U.S. immigration laws.
He did not.
In fact, President Trump closed almost all immigration courts for removal proceedings, cut prosecutions for unauthorized entry by 87%, cut ICE removals to the lowest level in the history of the agency, and released 9,000 people with violent crime convictions back into our communities. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes.
So rhetoric or reality? President Trump's immigration policies make American communities safer.
No, they don't make communities safer.
In fact, nearly 100,000 unauthorized immigrants have obtained legal status through their cooperation with law enforcement. And local law enforcement agencies have more than 300,000 pending requests for immigrants seeking legal status based upon their cooperation with law enforcement, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Is that correct?
That's right. Immigrants work with law enforcement to stop and solve crimes.
Thank you. That was one of my rhetoric.
But here's the thing, immigrants. You can't just say immigrants. You can't say that. Okay? And that's why she's just saying immigrants. You can be a legal immigrant here. We do have people who are legal immigrants who work in the federal government and all that stuff. They work. There's immigrants who are cops. There's immigrants who are this. There's immigrants who are that. What the Democrats were doing the whole time is they were blatantly using just the word immigrant. They're not talking about the specific group of immigrants from the last 4 years under the Biden administration. They're just saying immigrants in general. And that's not just the Hispanic immigrants. They're talking about all immigrants. When you say it like that, then yeah, you get to say, oh no, it's not a problem whatsoever. And all of these things about anything that's anti-immigrant and anti-that, that's all rhetoric. And all of that is 100% false. And you can't believe any of it. That's what they're saying. Okay. Now, there was some other stuff. I mean, the Democrats are just sitting up there tripping, really. I mean, I'm just saying they're tripping. There was some other points I liked for y'all to hear. But the
hand-battered North Atlantic cod with savory tartar sauce, crispy butterfly jumbo shrimp with signature cocktail.
Okay, y'all listen to this.
And live by the promise to be a sanctuary city. Mayor Wu, you said Boston Police and other departments cannot cooperate with ICE when it comes to detaining on civil warrants. Of course, I don't know what Mr. Mayor Johnston would define it, but I do know that the Honorable Mayor Johnson from Chicago, they call theirs a welcoming city ordinance, and we've got Ms. Wu, Mayor Wu, who's referred to hers as a safe city. That's really interesting to me. So when you are a sanctuary city, you put limits on how much you're willing to cooperate with federal agencies' efforts to remove illegal aliens. And your policies are then contravene federal law. You just do. Under Title 8 of the U.S. Code, it says a federal, state, or local government entity or official may not prohibit or in any way restrict any government entity or official from sending to or receiving from the Immigration Naturalization Service any information regarding the citizenship or immigration status of any individual. Yeah, so when I look at your guys' ordinances, and I got them all up here, and there's the really interesting stuff. And Denver, I think you testified previously that you rely on the statutory section, am I right, of the state statute. So let's just review this. There's a distinction, and some of you have made that. Mayor Johnson of Chicago made this repeatedly, and Mayor Wu of Boston did. There's a distinction between criminal warrant, and you say we cooperate on criminal warrant, but there's two levels of cooperation at least. There's a communication level, and there's a passing the person off. That's one level of the criminal, but the civil level, this is what I want to talk about for a second, because all of these ordinances proscribe communication and transfer of someone where there's a civil warrant. Now, I know that all of you understand that a removal order is a civil order. And that means none of you and none of your agencies within your municipalities are communicating or passing over someone where there's a ICE removal detainer. So I don't care how many times, 1,226 or whatever it was in 7 years, I don't care how many times you do it, but if you're not doing it for civil orders, then you're allowing people who have a removal order, who've had due process, because that's how you get a removal order. You're allowing them to stay in the country. You're in violation of this law right here. You're in violation of that law right there. And you've got to start realizing what your criminal culpability is on that.
So essentially, he just caught them all red-handed breaking the law. All of them. Every single last one of them. But I got something else I want to show y'all. Let me pull this clip up real quick. And like I said, the whole thing was somebody, you love the glass. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. A lot of people have been giving me compliments. A lot of people like the glasses, and I appreciate that. And I'm glad that you guys like them. I like them too. I really do. Let me bring this clip up. Oh boy, y'all should have seen this. And remember what I told you guys. Remember, I told you guys to remember that they all swore an oath. Remember that. They all took an oath. Okay, listen to this.
Talking about illegal immigration and oversight the entire time. I remember we had a group of this committee that went down to the El Paso section of the border. This was back in February, March of 2021. And during that time period, we were at one of the holding centers, and there were these buses that were coming to the detention facility, and they were picking up 30 kids, 50 kids at random, walking out of the facility. And when I went over to question the bus driver that was transporting these kids, border agents told me, as a member of Congress, that you're not allowed to question the bus driver. And of course, people knowing me, I didn't take no for an answer, and I repeated the question. And I was told that this bus of children was leaving El Paso and going to San Diego. And so what was occurring under the Biden administration is that they were busing unaccompanied minors all across the United States for one reason and one reason only. And that was because they did not want the press to see the pictures of kids in cages. They did not want to see our borders being overrun. They wanted to disperse that problem all through the United States. That is the reckless history of illegal immigration under Joe Biden and the Democrat Party. Mayor Johnston of Denver, you lamented earlier that there were 10 to 11 buses coming per day to your city. Did you ever talk to Joe Biden about why this was happening to your community?
Thank you, Congressman. I both reached out to Governor Abbott from Texas. He didn't respond, and I did.
Why would you reach out to Governor Abbott of Texas when it is Joe Biden, the former commander-in-chief, that opened up our borders? Why didn't you talk to him?
Well, our buses directly were being sent from Governor Abbott in Texas, so that was why we reached out to say we're happy to collaborate on a coordinated entry system. We understand no one state or no one city should bear the entire brunt of this, but let's collaborate. But I did.
So I'm glad you said that, because that brings me to my next point. Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis, when they started moving illegal aliens out of their states who were bearing the brunt of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were doing, and they've sent them to Denver, they sent them to Chicago, they sent them to New York, they sent them to Martha's Vineyard. The reason why they did that is because you four could hide behind the realities of illegal immigration on border towns all through our country and on cities and states who did not want to see illegal immigration, but did not have the political representation to go to the White House. And only when it showed up on your doorstep did you get upset. Mayor Johnston, coming back to you, how much did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around $79 million since 2022.
79 million.
79 million since 2022. Do y'all understand we're only in the third month of 2025? You can't even say that's a whole 3 years. $79 million in the last couple years. And that's if he's telling the truth about that. They'll tell you and me that this government has absolutely no money when it comes to reparations. They'll tell us that reparations would destroy the economy. And America would just cease to exist if they paid us reparations. Okay. That's what they say. That's what they say.
Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because we don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone...
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing
which
mayor.
is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that was sent from...
First off, he don't have the number. He knows the number. He's lying. Now, I want you guys to remember, Brandon Johnson took an oath. All of them took an oath. It's all on camera. They took an oath. He's saying he don't want to tell the number because the number is way higher, okay? It's way higher than what Denver said. Denver has small fries, okay, compared to how much Chicago spent. This dude literally sat there and said, we spent 1% of the Chicago city budget. We only spent 1% of the Chicago city budget. Can you guys? I maybe I'm not the best math whiz. You know, I could do a little bit of refreshing on my, long division and stuff like that, but I just can't really understand how Chicago wound up being in over $1 billion worth of debt if we only spent 1%. Is that 1% that detrimental? Is that 1% that detrimental that us spending it on them in the last 4 years, he said, because he said in the last 4 years, spending 1%. In the last 4 years, we in $1 billion in debt. Is that... To me, now I might not be the best with math, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, but I just think that we're missing a couple of numbers. I just think that we just might be missing a couple of numbers or a couple of steps or something. I don't see. I'm looking at it right here. I'm sitting up there. I'm looking at it, and I'm just sitting up there saying to myself, I'm just saying, like, okay, 1%, and then you do the math, and like we're negative $1 billion. Yeah, you're gonna have to show your work, Brandon. 1% of what equals a negative $1 billion. Tell me how. You know how back in the school, back when we used to go to school, your teacher wouldn't grade it correct unless you actually show your work. You know, you'd show how you would carry the one from the other thing, and you'd show how you borrow from the next thing or whatever the case is. You would have to show your work in order for you to get the correct answer, and the teacher would do that to make sure you knew how to solve the problem and you weren't like sneaking and using no calculator. I ain't gonna lie. Come on. We all know we did. We all know if no sound. My sound is off. Is my sound off? Who's saying no sound? Is something wrong with my sound? Hold on. My sound's not off. Okay. Okay, my sound is good. Y'all, you throwing me off. Stop doing that. Fix your microphone. Come on now. Throwing me off. Somebody just threw me off. My sound is off. Oh, okay. I'm good. I'm good. Anyway. The teachers used to do that. The teachers used to do that. Okay. So they would know that you know how to do the math problem. They would know you know how to do the math problem. Because like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, like I was saying, we all know that if we could get away with sneaking this little calculator up here, especially when it comes to the maybe addition and subtraction, yeah, we could do that. But yeah, now when you add multiplication in there and division in there, a calculator here or there, we would just kind of type it and then make it seem like we would get all of the answers right. Okay. And see, this is how our teachers, I'm gonna digress for a second. This is how our teachers knew we was wrong, because when we would show our work, we would get like at least like 3 answers wrong, 4 answers wrong. We would come close a little bit, but we would kind of mess up. When we wouldn't show our work, all of the answers would be right. See, that's how the teachers knew. We didn't know that, but all of the answers would be right when we didn't show our work. And the teachers would be like, so you didn't show your work at all, and 100% of this is correct every time. See, yeah, the teachers would know. So then they all like, okay, you're going to have to start showing your work. So that's what we need with Brandon Johnson. We're going to need you to show your work, because I'm just looking at this. Now, here's the thing. Here's the problem. How do you not show your work? Because not showing your work tends to mean that you cheated. You got the answer from somebody else, or you got the answer from the calculator or something like that. How do you not show your work and still be dead wrong? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, because not showing your work means you cheated. So you got the answer right. How do you not show your work and still be wrong? Tell me that. Tell me that. I'm going to need to see how you calculated this, because maybe you don't need to be in this class. Maybe you need to be in another class. I just don't see how you're saying 1% of the city budget in the last 4 years went to illegal immigrants, and we negative $1 billion. Can you explain this, Johnson? Can you come up to the class with the chalkboard and the chalk and write this out on the board? Because I just don't see it. I don't see how. Boy, he should have just pled the fifth on that one if he was going to answer that way. He should have pled the fifth. Oh man, let's continue. Lord,
if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing mayor.
Which is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that
how
was
much did the
sent from
city
us
of New
from
York
the
actually
state
spend
of
on
Texas.
illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number, and if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
$6.9 billion of taxpayers.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu,
$6.9 billion in the last 4 years that are not coming back. It's not like this is an investment gone wrong. They knew this money was not coming back at all. $6.9 billion.
The city
That
of
is
Boston, how much
insane.
did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city
number.
of Boston has spent on illegal immigration.
We
Are you
don't
out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policies.
Mayor
That
Wu?
is how we keep
Mayor
our city
Wu,
safe.
do you manage
we
your
have
budget or
the
not?
numbers to prove it.
Now, here's Mayor Wu, and this is some BS. She's BS. Yeah, we don't ask about immigration status when we're doing the stuff. No, okay. When a child goes into a hospital because they broke their leg, yeah, you might not ask about their immigration status, okay? And yeah, there is a bill that comes due because the child, you have to, something got to get paid for. They're talking about there's specific resources that you set aside for people who are coming into your city. You know how much those resources that you sanctioned off from the city to provide for them, you know how much that is. So the little wordplay thing of we don't ask about immigration status, ma'am, ain't nobody here slow, ain't nobody here stupid, Sitting up there, you don't ask about immigration status. Do you not think that all of these people coming off these buses are immigrants? Did you not know that? They're all immigrants, ma'am. Okay, let me make this simple. Let's do it the simple way. How about we do it the simple way? How that we're not going to ask about immigration status. How much money did you spend on all of the people, immigrant or non-immigrant, who came from the buses? How about that? How about we make it super simple? Then maybe I need to go on the chalkboard and spell it out for you. How about we do it like that? Okay. Since you want to play this little word game and trickery thing, since that's how you want to do it.
I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
The city of Boston is sick of having people outside Boston telling us what
Mr.
we
Bear, I have a
need.
question for you because I understand Cato's perspective when it comes to illegal immigration. I understand that the Cato Institute for a long time has had a standard of actually having open immigration into the United States. Generally speaking, I don't want to get into specifics.
We support legal immigration. We want immigration to be legal.
Let me ask you this question, because one of the great libertarians of the modern era, Milton Friedman, famously said, you can either have open borders or a welfare state, but you have to choose. Mr. Beer, what do you choose?
Milton Friedman said he wanted to allow illegal immigration to continue. I disagree with Milton Friedman's position on that. We should have legal immigration and build a wall around the welfare state, not around the country. That's in the best interest of taxpayers.
And I would argue that under the current system where you have sanctuary cities popping up, it is not possible to build that wall. So America has to choose. Mr. Beer, you're done. America has to choose between securing our nation or protecting the taxpayer. I choose secure the nation. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Mr.
They all got caught up, man. They all got caught up. And there's so much I could talk to y'all about. They got caught up. Every single last one of them. Now, remember when I tell you guys, if y'all have watched, if y'all have subscribed, which I hope you guys do, and I hope you guys like, I hope you guys are doing that. But y'all know me. Y'all know me well enough to know if I tell y'all, remember something, I need you guys to remember it because it's going to be relevant later. Now, remember, Brandon Johnson said that Chicago only spent 1% of the budget. It wasn't even 24 hours after he said that where the aldermen are saying, Brandon Johnson, you a lie and a half. Brandon Johnson, you're under oath and you're sitting up there lying, blatantly lying about how much money Chicago has spent on immigrants. He got his own alderman ratting him out. Check this out. This is an email sent from Alderman Raymond Lopez of Chicago saying, and I quote, this is the whole thing. He's saying, yesterday we heard a lot of lies at the committee and oversight hearing regarding sanctuary cities. The one that sticks in my head, aside from Chicago not protecting criminals, is the false claim that we only spend 1% of our overall budget to non-citizens, let alone migrant asylum seekers. Chicago's budget was $17.1 billion. 1% of that is $1.70 million. or 170 million. Even if you discount 4.5 billion in grants, that is 12.6 billion, with 1% equaling 126 million on non-citizens. All right. However, as reported by the Rumblin' Ray show this morning, Chicago directly and specifically allocated $600 million for migrants in 2024. 2024 is only 1 year, y'all. They've been coming for the last 4. That's over $500 million. And that's under covenant, okay? Continues to say 5 times what Mayor Brandon Johnson said under oath. This excludes, excuse me, y'all. This excludes all ancillary costs like IDs. Now, this is excluding that. Like I told you, it's a lot more. Like IDs, CTA, which is public transportation, cards, housing vouchers, and state-funded health care. In 2023, it is estimated the state, county, and city spent hold on, let me look in. Gotta take these glasses off. I cannot pronounce this word. Cumulative 1.3 billion on specifically on migrants. So I want y'all to count this out. So that's 1.3 billion. 1.3 billion in 2023. Let's add that with what we know in 2024, which is 600 million. So that would be $1.9 billion from 2023 to 2024. $1.9 billion in the last 2 years on immigrants, while Brandon Johnson said we only spent 1%, which isn't even $500 million, 1% of the overall budget. And then he continues to say, meanwhile, Chicago is going deeper in debt, depressed in a depressed economy where growth is stagnant, the tax base is pithily, and the leaders are hell-bent on ignoring the problems right in front of them. Oh man, Chicago it's Brandon Johnson. It ain't looking good for Brandon Johnson. It's not looking good for none of them, but it's damn sure not looking good for Brandon Johnson. Why the hell? What in the hell possessed you to say 1%? Oh, what possessed you to say that? That was dumb. You should have if anything, you could have said, man, you could have pled the fifth. I thought it would have been a smarter option to plead the fifth, quite frankly. I thought it would have been a smarter option to plead the fifth. And the Republicans, let me tell you, the Republicans ain't done with they're not done. They are not done. They are not done. I want y'all to see this real quick. Y'all check this out.
Wu, does the Boston Trust Act restrict communication with federal immigration authorities regarding individuals' immigration status? Yes or no?
We do not collect immigration status in law enforcement.
I'd just like to point out, and Mr. Chairman, if I could enter the Boston Trust Act into the record. Mr. Chairman.
Without objection to ordered.
Thank you. On page, or let's see, section 4AA, a law enforcement official and employment of the city department, agency, or commission shall not, and then A, inquire of an individual on his or her immigration status. Under Title 8, U.S. Code subsection 1373 stipulates that local governments cannot prohibit or restrict communication with federal immigration authorities regarding individuals' immigration status. So your enforcement of this act is in direct violation of that statute. Can you please confirm?
That is not
Thank
the
you,
truth.
ma'am. That's the U.S. Code. I don't know about you, but U.S. Code does not lie.
We do not ask about
Mayor
immigration
Johnson, I'm not
status, and that is
talking to you
what
anymore.
makes us
Next
safe in the
question,
city.
Mayor Johnston, you said in your testimony that the first step you took after illegal aliens arrived was to provide them with housing. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Folks that were on the streets freezing to death, we gave access to shelter. Yes, we did.
Thank you. Not to be rude here, but you have a good understanding of what the definition of harboring is, correct?
I do.
Okay. For those that might not, harboring means to knowingly or recklessly provide shelter or place to stay for an illegal alien. And according to Title 8 of U.S. Code subsection 1324, that is also a federal crime. Just to be clear, did you also say that you would be willing to go to jail to stop deportation efforts?
I did say that I'd be willing to stand up for all of our residents, and the context was that was the point at which the administration was threatening to deploy the U.S. military to streets of our cities to
Okay.
pull kids out of schools and churches.
Thank
So we
you.
were worried about that.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr.
This dude, he's sitting up there lying. This dude said he is willing to get arrested and go to jail for illegal immigrants. Now he's talking about, I'm willing to stand up for our residents. Now they're saying residents. It's not residents, okay? So he lying.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record an article from CBS.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. In this, it says Johnson said earlier this week that he's willing to use civil disobedience and, if necessary, going to jail to stop deportations. My final question would be for you, Mr. Mayor Johnson. Do you believe that Chicago's welcoming city ordinance encourages illegal aliens to enter the United States, specifically into Chicago? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. So you don't believe that banning the transfer of individuals into ICE custody for the purpose of civil immigration enforcement encourages illegal immigration into Chicago? Or how about agencies, sorry, one second, or agents not being able to stop, arrest, or detain individuals based solely on their immigration status or administrative warrants?
So we comply with all laws, local, state, and federal.
To me, after this line of questioning, it's very clear that these policies that you have all implicated are active and alive and well in your cities, are in direct violation with U.S. Title 8 Code subsection 1324, and is a federal offense. But you all speak about a broken immigration system, and yet here you guys are aiding and abetting in that entire process. I want to be very clear about something. Open border policies, which is something that you guys are talking about, hurts people on both sides, meaning the people that are coming here illegally and then American citizens as well. I do not think you guys are bad people, but I think that you are ideologically misled, which is why, unfortunately, based on your responses, I'm all going to be criminally referring you to the Department of Justice for investigation. And as soon as I leave here, these will be going over to Pam Bondi. I'm not doing that in an effort to bully you guys, but I do believe that your policies are hurting the American people, and you can make that known with the evidence that you can present to the Department of Justice. But if you guys continue doing what you're doing, you're not going to help anyone. You're going to hurt more people. And that's exactly why I'm tired of it. The American people are tired of it. And Chairman, I yield my time.
Would you yield?
So essentially what she's saying is that she's taking all of this and she's filing to the Department of Justice. So all of them might get locked up. And they was all testifying under oath. They all lied. They all might get locked up. It's done. The sanctuary city stuff, that's going to be a thing of the past that America will never go back to. America ain't never going back to that. The only one who might be spared a little bit is Eric Adams. I'm just going to say, because Eric Adams already saw where the trend was going, and Eric Adams is complying to a degree a lot better than what they doing. But Eric Adams already got some stuff on him. So that's the thing with Eric Adams. They might let him go a little bit because he was, maybe. But yeah, as far as all of them are concerned, it's over. It's over. It's over. Oh, they're done. And not only that, they got their own aldermen sitting up there telling on them. They got their own aldermen ratting them out, saying, "Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. I can't believe he said that." Oh my goodness, they done. I want to know who y'all think is going away first. Personally, I think might be Eric Adams, but I don't want to get personal. You know what I'm saying? But I think so. Hold on for 1 second. But I want to know what you guys think, to be honest. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the phone lines, and I want you guys to call in, and I want to know what you guys think about the situation. I want you guys to let me know what y'all think about the situation. Hold on for 1 second. So let me just set this up. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see something. Pin number. Hold on. Why is this? Why is this tripping on me like this? Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on for 1 second. Into the 6 digit. Y'all calling in already. 6 digit pin number. Hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. And just putting in the pin number. Got to put in the pin number. We good. Mercy. That took too long. That's way too long. I want to know what y'all think. We was out there representing. Shout out to Miss Jackson. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to the Chicago Flips Red crew. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Danny. You know, we was all out there representing. We was all out there stomping. We was all out there showing FBA greatness. We was out there showing FBA foundational Black American greatness. That's what we was doing. You know, and it took us a minute. And I told y'all we had something coming up. It took us a minute for us to get everything together. It took us some last minute organizing, boy, the trip, the plan. When I tell y'all, y'all don't see a lot of the stuff that go. Why is this freezing up now? Y'all don't see a lot of the stuff that go on behind the scenes. Okay. Okay, hold on. Now you want to act all funny now. What's going on? Computer, laptop, stop freezing on me. All right, there we go. Hold on. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, here we go. All righty, then. Let me take this off the thing. Excuse me, y'all. The laptop was kind of tripping a little bit. But before we get to some of the calls, let me put the number here. So the call lines are open. You guys can call in. Let me know what y'all think about the situation. Y'all, I just want to talk to the family. But before we do that, shout out to Jamie for the super sticker. Thank you so very much. I don't want to butcher your name, and I apologize if I mispronounce it. I'm gonna just say that I think it's Ankit for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much, beloved. Appreciate you. My brother Hurricane again with the super chat. C. Terry, I appreciate you. Thank you so very much, sister. Then you got Marcus. He said, I thought Raymond Lopez was for illegals. Sounds like he's switching up. The thing with Raymond Lopez is he's not for mass deportation. He's not, but he's not for like the mass immigration. So he's kind of been like on the fence a little bit, but he don't like the way Johnson has been operating. He don't like that at all. So yeah, kind of like that, but he leans against Johnson. Hurricane again say lock him up. Absolutely. Thank you very much. My brother AO says excellent broadcast, brother. Expose them. I definitely will. That's why we here. That's why we here. Thank you. And then I got my brother Hurricane sends a cash app, sends a super chat, says Afro Elite for mayor of Chicago. Hey, with the glasses, maybe. I don't want to say that. Let me not say that because then people are going to expect me to announce my run for mayor in the next couple months. So let me not even say that. Shout out to my brother Antithesis for the cash app. I see you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you so very much. Let's get to some of the calls. I know y'all want to call. I know y'all want to talk about it. Let's talk about it, family. Let's talk about it. Okay. Caller from area code 719. You're on live. What's your name and where you calling from?
Tell it like it is. Calling out of California.
Tell it like it is, brother. Go ahead. Tell it like it is.
Hey, straight up. Hey, I had to be the first to call in. I'll call before you even put the number up because I got you on speed dial. Check this out. On this one, I'm gonna tell you right now. Honestly, I think all of this is a dog and pony show until I see them I see them marched out in cuffs, one behind the other.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's how I feel. I feel like they all need to be locked up because as many times that, you know, people go in front of Congress and they sit there and get grilled, and then next thing you know, don't nothing happen to them. I want to see this. I want to see them all marched out in cuffs, because all of them they violated federal law. They know they violated federal law, and they tried to hide behind state laws in order to like kind of like, you know, try to circumvent the federal laws. So you know, and honestly, I think the first one that's gonna go is Brandon Johnson. I mean, well, yeah, Brandon. I think Brandon Johnson gonna be the first one because he shows the most incompetence, and he was real bold about it. He was extra bold about it, and he was, you know, all on the camera talking reckless all the way up until now. Now they're talking about how he's all stressed out because of this situation and everything. Well, yeah, you should be stressed out. You stressed the American people out. You stressed out the American taxpayers. You flooded. You allowed black neighborhoods to get flooded with these illegals. So since you want to play it like that, okay, fine. Now you gotta stand on what you did. You gotta stand on it now.
Yep.
So that's me. I
I agree. That. You know, and that's why when they were drilling them or whatever the case is, I'm not sitting up there cheerleading for what's his name, Brian Donalds or Nancy Mace or whatever the case is. It's good that that's been exposed, that they're under oath and they're testifying. But you're absolutely right. We can't give no credit. We can't give credit until they get arrested. But if they pursue like that, I think her name was Luna, I believe, where she says she's going to open up cases for the DOJ. If we keep it up, because we can't just let this go. If we keep it up and we keep pushing and spreading awareness that y'all lied and y'all need to get arrested, it could happen. But with it, we ain't gonna give too much credit to them until it does. Because sometimes they be doing stuff just so they can get their name in the paper and all of that stuff, just so they can get their face on the camera. So you're right about that.
Right.
And you're right about the thing with Brandon Johnson. Because the thing is that, of course, New York was hit the hardest. Chicago was hit the second hardest. All right. All things considered. But the difference is that Adams is complying way more than Johnson. Johnson was on TV bragging, like you said, bragging about the fact that he's not complying. He was bragging about it. Okay. And the corruption corruption is pretty obvious as well, too. So I think that if anything, with the most money, because besides Eric Adams, Chicago has spent the most money. Besides New York, Chicago has. So Eric, you know, and I'm not saying Eric is not going to have his day, but I don't personally, as of right now, I don't see it happening before Johnson. I don't see it happening before Brandon Johnson. I just don't.
Well, yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. And right when you was talking just a minute ago, something came to my mind. It's like, okay, all right, the other two guys, those are white dudes, and they're Asian girls, that little Asian chick. So, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna come after them first. They're gonna go after Brandon Johnson, and they're gonna go after Eric Adams first. And I mean, it's like they neglected. It's like they never watched the Scary Movie before. They always kill off the black people first.
Yep.
So for some odd reason, it's like, and that's the crazy thing. They the ones that run the fastest in the movie, but they still somehow they get caught and they get killed. And it's like, no, instead of Brandon Johnson, you silly Negro, you just walk right towards the we walk right towards the danger. You wanted to be a cowboy, so here we go. Now you at the show. You on the main screen like you wanted to be.
Yeah,
I don't feel nothing. So.
I don't either. I appreciate that, and you absolutely correct about it. You know, Michelle Wu, she's an Asian. Plus, do y'all know she brought her newborn baby to the hearing? Did y'all know that?
She brought her newborn baby.
And then she wanted to get up. I got to nurse my baby. Her husband was there. So, that was a sympathy play. That was a sympathy play. So she's not, they going to have sympathy on her. She's an Asian. They going to have sympathy on Mike. He's white. The most I could see is if they might not win an election. If they might not win an election, but as you can, that's not what they're trying to get Johnson locked up. They're trying to get Adams locked up. They're not really trying to get Michelle Wu locked up. They're not really trying to get Mike Johnston locked up. Maybe we might not want you to be mayor, but we don't want to see you behind bars now. We ain't going to do you like that. Oh, no. Oh, no.
They going to get him. They coming for Brandon Johnson hard.
Yeah.
They coming for him. They going to get him, too. I hope so.
Yeah.
But, yep, I'll land there.
Yes, indeed. Yep. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. That's my brother. Tell it like it is. Shout out to the Cali family. Let's get to the next caller. Caller from area code 720. You're on live. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, B1 salute, Afro Elite, to the chat and everybody watching. I'm Justin Paris. I'm calling out of Denver.
What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, I ran against that clown Johnston. I ran against him and several other clowns in 2023. For those that don't know, I ran for mayor of Denver, Colorado in 2023. And they put in about 20 people. And the only reason why Johnston won the race is because Bloomberg gave him $6 million during the runoff between him and the white broad, Kelly Bruff. So that's the only reason why he became the mayor. And also the previous mayor, old Hancoon, that's what I call him, but Hancock, he's the one that came up with the sanctuary city status for the city back when Trump was in his first term. And it was a response to what Trump was doing with the Muslim ban and all of that. So Johnston, you said that you was willing to go to jail behind these illegal immigrants, so it's time that you show and prove. Lock his ass up. Lock Brandon Johnson up, sitting up here taping for the migrants, taking away our black SBA's spots, community spots, and putting these illegals up in brand new homes that our SBAs can't get in, and they're sleeping on the street. They are unhoused as a result of this madness and chaos. And Eric Adams, you went against the Democrats. They put some charges up on you. So now you got to reap what you sow. You need to go to jail too. You spent how many billions on illegal immigrants and then have the curiosity to fly down to Colombia telling them, hey, y'all need to stop coming here. Went down to the border. Hey, y'all need to stop coming to New York. Y'all need to stop coming to NYC. So now y'all got to reap what you sow. And Michelle Wu, just because you got a baby, that don't mean they ain't going to lock y'all up too. But I agree with the previous caller. They're going to prioritize Johnson and Eric Adams. They're not going to really press the issue on Johnson. Because, like the brother said, he might lose in 2027 because that's when our next election is. But besides that, they ain't going to lock his ass up. And Eric Adams, you better report Democrats. You better get off the Democratic plantation because they already let you know what their true colors are. You better try to get up on Trump's good side. And you see how they're asking me questions about did Trump offer you a partner or not? Because I watched the whole thing. I streamed it on my platform. So I'm going to land my plane there. Make sure y'all check out Frontline Black News on YouTube and Facebook with a double C. I appreciate all the work that the New Black Media is doing. You included, Afro Elite. B1 to the family.
B1, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay. Yeah, like we saying, they ain't lacking. They want if I, out of what I've known, and I've been tracking this story since the very beginning, since Lori Lightfoot, since Biden first started letting the buses coming over here and the migrants coming over here, they want Brandon Johnson. If they can only get one person, if they get Brandon Johnson, they might let the rest go. Adams, like I said, Adams still might see his day. it might not even be for sanctuary cities. It might be for something totally different. They not really the Republicans, at least, ain't really pressed on Adams like that. Okay. But they want Johnson. Oh, they want Johnson. They want Johnson bad. Let me get to some of the cash apps the super chats real quick. William, my brother William says, is there a lawyer in the house? I gotta see about the context of that. You gotta in the chat room real quick. What is the was there a lawyer there? They bought lawyers. They did bring lawyers there with them, even though you couldn't tell. Antithesis is Mayor Elite. Got a ring to it. Got a ring to it. I like it. I like it. My sister Hannah says, sends $100 super chat. Says, I really like your glasses. You're looking a lot like Malcolm X. Keep up the good work, Afro Elite. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you so very much, beloved. Thank you. I adore my family. I really do. Let me get to these callers. I know y'all got a lot to say. Call lines piling up. Come on, y'all call in. We having family time. Next caller from area code 313. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Next caller. Hey, how you doing? This is William. I'm calling in to say about the.
Well, hold on. Where are you calling from, brother?
I'm calling in from North Hollywood, California. Right. And as a citizen out here, I've seen it firsthand the damage of what a sanctuary city can do. And it's very damaging to the black community. You've seen Compton go from being a predominantly black town to now the Latinos, and they out here, the Asians, everybody look at us like you're crazy when you walk down the street just getting out your car, going about your business.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I want to see is, when I say there's a lawyer in the house, I want to know, is there any way we can file lawsuits and start joining charges and make sanctuary cities illegal, period? Let's cut it off at the base. Because I understand that there are rules and regulations and laws already on the books to say that this cannot go. So if this is the case, there should be lawyers that file charges and get rid of this and say this is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we need to, let's get racist Ed Bloom. Where is he at to complain about this kind of stuff? Because it started out, a lot of it I've seen started out here in San Francisco with Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, Mrs. Love, and especially with Willie Brown. They're the ones who did the sanctuary city stuff. They did it. Just say, we're going to be a sanctuary city. We're going to be a sanctuary city. There was no discussion. It wasn't voted on. It was just declared. And I would like to see it undeclared across the board. Make it a federal law that you cannot have sanctuary city. You can't be a sanctuary state. And we need to make sure that there are punitive measures on the books for anybody that tries this. And as for these mayors, after seeing the damage it does, I have no pity. I don't have any hatred, but I think the punishment should come without remorse, without pity. Just, you need to be punished. And if that requires jail time, because that's the only way these people are going to get the message. Power, only respects power. And people that have the ability to punish these folks, they need to be punished for this. And then after that, then somebody will start taking it serious. Oh shit, they're not playing. We better not do this no more. We better start changing things, especially with our governor out here, crazy gruesome Newsom, who was promoting this trans stuff. And now that somebody else is crazy is in power, he's backpedaling. He was on with Charlie Kirk today talking about how he's going to put an end to this, or that he's not completely for it as far as them playing sports. But that's enough on that. I'm going to land my plane there. And thank y'all and have a great day.
Thank you, brother. And I appreciate your support. Thank you. You know, that's a good point. Shout out to my good brother William. Thank you, brother.
Anytime.
Yeah. Callers, call in. Please make sure that you guys have your speakers off. You can listen on the phone. Don't have me on the TV or a laptop or whatever the case is. You know, because we hear the background noise. So we don't need no background noise. It kind of throws the show off a little bit. It throws the program off. I will say, though, what we can have lawyers look into a referendum of the sanctuary city status of these cities. Now, I can't say Chicago's referendum is going to be the same as New York or that going to be the same as Boston. So you would have to look it up and see exactly how you would repeal the city being a sanctuary city. It can be done, but you would have to look that up, and then you would have to get enough people organized to get behind that, because you probably might have to get petitions signed or all of that, boo up the bam, but you have to look it up. But it can be done. It can be done. Next caller from area code 209. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay, this is Shabaka Sankora with Frontline Black News. I appreciate you there, Afro Elite. I've been trying to make contact with you for the longest, man. I'm calling from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, so what it is, man, is that we got to show up our own businesses. I want to see Brandon Johnson. I want to see him over there in Statesville Penitentiary. I want to see Gruesome Newsome out here in San Quentin. And the orange dude is doing exactly what he's stating that he was doing, man, getting rid of the DEI with diversity, equity, inclusion, the best thing to happen for Black business. The reason being is because we will not be held by those standards, man, hiring our own people who want to go up there and escape the gang life out of Los Angeles, out of Chicago, out of New York. So Brandon Johnson, yeah, I want to see him fall. Eric Adams, I want to see him fall. I want to see that bald-headed Jenny over there locked up in the New York County jail. I want to see Eric Adams there down there in Statesville throw his butt in the Cook County jail today. Do it today. You see what I mean? It's because these Black politicians, man, is selling us down the tubes, and then old Gruesome Newsome is going to sit up there about these transgenders. Oh, well, this is a situation of fairness. First place, don't no man got no business in no women's sports, particularly the contact sports like boxing and what have you. And I most definitely want to give a shout out to the Madam Champion, the greatest woman of all time, Clarissa Shields. You know what I mean? She's awesome. She's great. She's beautiful. But these crooked Black politicians like London Bridge, she lost her job in Sacramento. The mayor of Oakland, Shane Tahu, she got arrested, you know, by the feds. She belongs in jail. See, Oakland, California, man, is totally blighted. And then the legacy that, you know, has came from there. And also, too, Afro Elite, you know, I did communicate with you, man. I think it was either on Tweety Bird or whatever. And you said to inbox you, and I did. You know what I mean? And get with us on Frontline Black News, man, and get with my colleague there, Jesse Parrish, you know what I'm saying, because he's the co-executive producer of Shabaka's Black Experience that we had on Blog Talk, but it folded. So we're moving to a new platform. You see what I mean? And we're on StreamYard, man, and most definitely get with us, man. You know what I'm saying?
You communicated with me on Twitter, right? You DM me on Twitter?
Yeah. Yes, sir. You know, it was a while.
Did I respond to it? Did I respond to it?
Okay, no, you did, man. I think you was tied up that day, man.
Okay.
But the handle is on Twitter.
People, okay, send me another one.
Yeah, go ahead.
At the top of the list so I can see it, because I'll be getting a bunch of stuff, trolls, people.
Oh yes, I get them too.
So you can kind of be at the top of the list, and so I can look at it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then keep in mind, man, keep up the great work you're doing, man. You know, hey, make them angry, man. Hit them where it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Because the day of the Yassa boss is over. The day of Uncle Remus, man, and Uncle Tim Scott, zippity-dee-dah, zippity-day. I got plenty of nothing, and nothing's plenty for me. That's whack, man. You know what I'm saying? That's whack, because we are a great, great people after all. It was a Black man that discovered the city of Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Okay. And then also too, and of course, you know, man, how they used to sell our people, man, on Wall Street, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, doing slavery. They used to take our people and sell them on Wall Street, you know, right there where that stock market exchange is. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And never. Well, you know, when these people of these other persuasions come out there and vent their hatred toward us, man, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. There's an old saying from South Central LA, man. I grew up in Los Angeles, but I was born in Cook County. I was born in Chicago, but as a child, I moved out to LA. And there's an old saying in South Central LA, brother, never apologize for how you honestly feel.
That's true. That's true.
Yes, sir. And And I appreciate you, brother. So I'm going to go on and let you go, man. So I see that you're busy, man. So please get with us, man, when you can. And a shout out there, to the brother there, man, who was on there previously, man. I want to see Brandon Johnson walk the concrete. I want to see that bald-headed genie Eric Adams crash and burn as well, too. Want to see him walk the concrete. You see what I mean? Up there doing something for everybody else. Up here giving these daggone migrants, man, debit cards for $5,000-$6,000 on.
Don't forget to send me that email or that tweet that updated so you can be at the top.
Yes, sir.
I don't have to be searching for you. All right. Well, I appreciate your call.
Yes, sir. Okay, and I appreciate. Yes, sir, and thank you, sir. All righty. Okay. Take care. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's get to caller from area code 747. You're on live. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, it's Shay, calling out of LA.
Shay
Thanks for
from
having
LA.
me on, man.
That rhymes. You got bars, brother? I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with you.
Nah, man. Nah, we out here appreciate your show and stuff. And I just wanted to say that the whole thing with Eric Adams, it was Biden was giving him money when everything first popped off with the immigrants. And people didn't know it, but they were flying people from Texas to New York. And Biden them stopped giving him the money, and that's when he turned against it, because he's like, well, you leaving all of us to foot this bill. And so when it started coming down to it, and the Republicans started putting in things where that you couldn't cheat in the election, you couldn't have all these illegal people voting, because like they just wanted to send ballots out to everybody, and everybody could just mail in a ballot like it was COVID or whatever. And so when they saw that wasn't going to work out, they stopped giving Eric Adams the money. And unlike the people of Chicago, Eric Adams was like, no, New York can't pay for all these people to be here all this time in these, 5-star five-star hotels and things like that. And that's when he kind of bailed on it, because they cut the money out. But the people in Chicago, I don't know what Biden told them and the other mayors who kept going along with it. I don't know exactly what they were told or what they were given or whatever, but they kept pressing the people. But Eric Adams was the only one who actually said, nah, you said you send me federal money. And that's what they're not talking about. Just like Trump is flying the criminal migrants, he's flying them out. They were flying migrants in the same way, but nobody talked about it. I was like, how is this not news? They just flying people in from different places and saying that they're seeking asylum, and it was, it got way out of hand, man. But I'm letting other people get on. Thank you for having me, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. So, brother from LA, we got some, California's representing tonight. I appreciate that. That's, shout out to California. I'm going to say this before we get to the next caller. Do you guys understand how much gas it takes to fill a school bus? Let's just think about this for 1 second. 1 second, y'all. Do you understand how much gasoline it takes to fill up a school bus? However much you think, because it costs a lot more to fill up a school bus than it does to fill up your car or 2 cars or 3 cars. Like, okay, let's a school bus. Imagine filling up 10 school buses. Imagine filling up 10 school buses and having those school buses drive all the way across the country from Texas to New York, from Texas to Chicago, from Texas to Boston and to Denver. Imagine how much money that's going to take. If we did that one time, imagine how much money it would take for us to pull that off if we only did it once. Now imagine doing that consistently throughout the whole year. Imagine every single day you're sending dozens of buses to these cities. Imagine how much money it just takes to transport them. Not even flying. We're not even calculating the flight. Imagine that. Well, they tell us that America doesn't have enough money to pay reparations. Caller from area code 706. You're on live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, Afro Elite? My name is Kevin Bowman. I'm calling from Augusta, Georgia.
Kevin from Georgia. What's on your mind, brother?
My question is, with this whole flying these migrants in and giving them all these resources, what was the end game for this? Like, were they trying to replace us, or like, if they're giving away all our resources, putting them in the neighborhoods and the shelters and stuff in Chicago and giving them free housing and voting, what was the end game? Like in the next 20 years, let's just say we keep it Democratic, were they trying to get rid of us, or were they trying to, like, that's just that's the part that's just puzzling me. Just seeing this, I'm just like, what was the end game for all of this? What is the reason? And I think they need maybe do some investigation on, is there some kind of money being paid out or something? Like, why is Brandon Johnson and some of the other ones so gung-ho on these migrants? Like, what are they getting from this? Like, it has to be, usually when you see something like this, there's some kind of money involved. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was watching one of the town hall meetings in Chicago a while back, and I remember one of the constituents saying that Brandon Johnson and some of them flew down to Venezuela or somewhere, and some kind of deal was made or something. But I think that they need to look into why this is happening and what's fueling this to begin with. Because I feel like we're almost like a treasonous type thing is going on. Because I'm really like this was my first time voting Republican. I've just always been a starch Democrat because my family, whatever, and you know, especially down here in the South, is basically all Democratic, at least in the cities anyway, except for the rural areas. But when I saw what was happening, I said, there's just no way that I could vote for the Democratic Party seeing this. I mean, it almost just seems like they're trying to change the country or something. Like, you know what I mean? But that's the question that's just been in my mind this whole time. Every time I'm watching Brandon Johnson, it's like he's like a robot or something. I mean, there's nothing that's gonna change his mind. There's something fueling this. He has some motivation for doing this, for bankrupting the city, and the same people that put him in power, the black community that really stomped for him and voted for him after that fiasco with Lori Lightfoot. It's like he's seriously motivated for some reason with these migrants, and I really want to know. I want to get to the underside of all of this. Like, what exactly is going on? Who's paying you? There's some money laundering or something going on somewhere. And I land my plane there.
Yeah, hey, that's a good question. Questions we gotta ask.
Yeah,
we gotta ask these questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
To answer that real quick, to answer your question before you go, real quick. I think it's multiple things that they assumed that they were going to accomplish. There was multiple things. First off, if they get in and then they push this voting rights thing or whatever, that essentially neutralizes the threat of the black vote. So right now they're dealing with a couch problem. They don't have to deal with the couch problem if they have a new base. This is something that the Democratic Party has been trying to do for the longest time. They've been trying to come up with a new base. The foundational Black Americans, we have been the base of the Democratic Party. Yet now we're starting to really wake up, and we're not a reliable base for them anymore. So now they need a more reliable base. So they're bringing that in. That's one point. Another point is that they need cheap labor. Okay. They need the people to be working on the farms real cheap. They need the people to be working in the hotels and the factories and all of that stuff super, super cheap. They need that cheap labor. So they have that. And immigration has been an issue for a while. Another point, and this is all of these are points, and all of these things add up. Now, to which degree is the greatest, that can be debated. Another point is that and this is something Biden has said, white European population is dying in America. Okay. Their numbers are plummeting. They are not reproducing more than they are dying off. They have a flat rate. That means in the future years, there's going to be less and less and less and less white people. So what they need, this is something the system of white supremacy has always done, is what they need a new level of immigrants. They need a new wave of immigrants to come in, and then they indoctrinate them and allow them to classify as white. That's what they did with the Irish. That's what they did with the Greek. That's what they did with the Polish. That's what they did with the Italians. That's what they're going to do with a lot of the southern borders. Okay. So there's a number of reasons, and then there's probably a lot that we don't know of, a lot of corruption that they might have some type of underhanded deal with another country or something like that, that maybe as of right now, we don't know. But it seems like there could be a lot of reasons, and maybe it might be all of them.
Yeah. And another thing too, I was just thinking while you were talking, I'm starting to notice a pattern with a lot of our black politicians. Like, I'm glad that everybody's paying attention to like this Jasmine Crockett and some of these other people. It's like, and don't get me wrong, I'm 100% for my people, for my black people, but it's to the point now, for a while, I don't even want to see a black politician right now. It just seems like all of them are corrupt. All of them are compromised in some type of way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we just easily duped, or maybe we need to start vetting who we put up to represent us better.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I land my plane there. Yeah.
You're 100% correct. Yeah, we do. We do. As far as, to be honest, the black politician kind of gives me a red flag just automatically. Just because I know in order for you to get in those rooms, you damn sure got to be a sellout. It's 9 times out of 10, if you in the room, you a sellout. That's the only way they even allow you to get in the room. So, but
right. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. You take care, man.
You too. Shout out to Kevin. Appreciate that. And I appreciate the callers who's waiting. I appreciate your patience. I really do. I know I've been kind of long with some of the callers, but I appreciate your patience. So thank you. Caller from area code 251. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi again. This is Thomas from Hatmore. I grew up in the 70s and in Watts. Well, they call it South Central now, but they used to call it Watts. And I saw the beginnings of I call it the illegal alien invasion. They started coming in slowly. I went to Locke High School back in the day, and they started slowly coming in. And like I said, the politicians, they were bending over backwards to accommodate them, especially the Democrat Party. The Republican Party was doing the same, but not to the extent of the Democrat Party. That is their agenda. Open borders, massive Hispanic illegal alien invasion. And my school, Locke High School, is now a Mexican school. My neighborhood is now a Mexican neighborhood. I used to call it an illegal alien neighborhood now. And that's pretty much been unofficial. U.S. policy is open borders for Hispanic illegal aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dangerous, and that needs to stop. That's a problem, and that needs to stop.
It is.
I'm glad that it took us too long. It took us too long, but I'm so very glad that we got off this black and brown minority, people of color stuff. I'm so glad. Because if we were still on that, we'd be doomed.
You're right about that.
We'd be doomed.
Oh, that's horrible.
If we were still on that.
That is disgusting. Oh, and like the gentleman that just spoke, he got one major point right. Is I always say 99.9% of black politicians are useless, good for nothing sellouts. They do absolutely nothing for black American citizens. They don't care about us. They're there for their own good and for their party agenda, like Jasmine Crockett, Raphael Warnock, Brandon Johnson. They're all a dime a dozen. They all are sellouts. And I can't think of any black politician that works for black American people.
Now,
we have no representation.
Right now, you can't think of any of them. Old, young, male, female, can't think of nobody.
I remember back in Los Angeles, we had Mayor Tom Bradley back in the day. And Tom Bradley, he was pretty quiet. He didn't really say a whole lot. When he finally said something about the Rodney King verdict, they finally got him out of there. But he was also, part of that's Democrat Party stuff, Hispanic illegal invasion. That's their party agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And, one thing about black people have, it frustrates me to see so many black people voting Democrat. The Republicans aren't much better, but the Democrat Party begs us for our votes, and they use our votes to bring in massive numbers of illegal aliens, to support LGBTQ, to support all kinds of stuff that destroy the country and destroy black neighborhoods. And black people keep running to vote for these people. And they don't care anything for us at all.
Yep.
And that's very frustrating. But one more thing, just a side note, I called about Captain Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. I sent you some email about him, and one lady, she called in about that, and she said that he was colonized by Russia. That's not true. He is making real big things happen in Burkina Faso. He loves his people, and the whole country is being turned around. It was one of the poorest countries in Africa.
Every time you call in, you're gonna talk about that every time you call in.
Okay, I'm sorry. I hate to.
Because I'm
telling
you, every time you talk about it, I'm trying to do this for you. Because every time you talk about them, you get drugged in the chat room. I don't know if you like it or not, but you get drugged every single time you talk about them. I'm warning you. I'm all like, yeah, I ain't gonna stop you, but the chat room be checking you.
I just want people to know.
I don't know.
Well, just tell them to check out Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. And he's done some amazing things in Africa for his people.
Okay.
And like I said, I wish we had black politicians here that cared about us like that, and we don't.
Oh, I see Angelica Lena in the chat room right now, bro. You better hang up. You better stop, brother. All right, they're coming for you now. You shouldn't have did that. All right, it's okay. They're gonna get you every time.
Thank you, sir. Y'all take care.
All right, but thank you for that, brother. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you now. Bye now.
All right. Hey, the chat room don't be playing. The chat room do not be playing. Caller from area code 657. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Afro Elite? Hey, this is D from Cali. Yeah, hey, Afro Elite, man. Yeah, see, I've been born and raised in LA County my whole life. And from the previous callers, from what they saying, bro, I'm going to give it to you raw. Like, all those black politicians and mayors in LA ever in history have all been sellouts, bro. Have all been on the take for the Democratic Party, bro. They had no interest in reviving the black communities in Los Angeles County. They didn't give a damn, bro. They didn't give a damn back then when the Rodney King riots happened, the Watts riots happened, none of that, bro. Now, a lot of older callers from Los Angeles have called in. And to tell you the truth, Afro Elite, that's why I'm going to tell you why I'm going to give Chicago props, bro. Is because a lot of the people, the brightest in LA, you know what I'm saying, the ones that, you know, are a little higher on the hill, they got their money and they moved out of Los Angeles. And none of them attended no PTA meetings, no community meetings, or nothing like that, man. They just got their sacks, man, and moved on to like Riverside, or moved on to Vegas, or moved on somewhere else. They left LA abandoned, bro, which the younger generation had to pick up all the pieces, bro. That's the honest, hard truth. It's a lot of sellouts going on, bro. We just vote on symbolism back in the day. So if it was a black person running for mayor, we didn't give a damn if they was working with the white supremacists, bro. Oh, put him in office. And then we get what we got now, an influx of, see, because what y'all got going on in Chicago now, bro, we've seen this before. We've seen this before with Chief Bernard Parks. Like he said, Tom Bradley, Maxine Waters. You know what I'm saying? The same thing Brandon Johnson trying to throw y'all under the bus, bro. Hurry up and get that Jack fool. Somebody need to do him like they did. They tried to attempt Trump on the rooftop, bro. Because he real detrimental to the black community in Chicago, bro. Now, Had we would have known
Just
this
just
back
let
in
to
the days,
pause, just to pause real quick. I just wanted to be known that the thoughts and opinions of the callers do not necessarily reflect the thoughts and opinions of the host. Got to let that be known for YouTube. Nor
my
does
fault,
the
Afro
host
Elite,
or
man. You
the
know,
callers condone any violence for any politician or anybody. But I just want this to be known for the YouTube
I
platform.
apologize for that,
Yeah,
man. I
okay,
apologize, but I'm
yeah.
just pissed off, man, because I'm born and raised in L.A. County, bro, and I lived all over in all different type of cities in L.A. County, bro, and South Central and all that, bro, and I've seen the hypocrisy that's been on in my whole 40 years, bro, of living out here, bro. So I know it's all cap, man. It's all that. Everybody is, and Gavin Newsom and all that, man. They work with the cartel, man. You understand what I'm saying? That to bring legal immigrants to work on their little private farms and their little private corporations, bro, right? And you know, they got a little underhand. It's real crooked out here in California, man. I know you heard it before, Afro Elite.
Yeah.
So what the other callers were saying, yeah, man, it's a lot of funny style stuff going on, man. And migrants always been here, but now this is just ridiculous. They try to create a voting block to where our vote don't count because they knew that, you know, we can't keep ignoring the black community because they're asking for stuff now. So, you know, we're gonna have to, you know, see if we can, blend their vote in or weed them out. And you know, we caught what's going on just in time, man. But I respect what y'all doing because y'all pressing this and y'all in the meetings. It's just in Los Angeles County, man. Them people back in the day, they just wasn't in the meetings like they supposed to, like y'all do. But be one.
Be one, brother. Thank you. Appreciate your call. Yeah, but you know, hopefully Chicago setting an example for other people to step up and other communities to really like get their stuff going, get their ball going. Caller from area code 708. You're on live. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Bonnie, and I'm from Chicago, Inglewood.
Bonnie from Chicago.
How are you doing? Yeah, well, actually, surprisingly, there was a person who asked about Venezuela and Brandon's trip there. That's something that I heard from Danny C. And that's always stuck in my craw, if you will. Why did Brandon go to Venezuela? And you did answer the question, so pretty much my question was answered. But I just hung on because I hung on, and I would like to explore that because somebody definitely has a battery up Brandon Johnson's back, and I'm not sure who that is or what it looks like. Him being bankrolled by certain people who have certain agendas. It doesn't surprise me, but I'll land on that because someone had already asked my question.
Yeah.
And thank you for the work that you do. I'm your old auntie that supports you all and that rides for y'all and that will take a bullet for y'all. So just remember that, okay? Stop talking about old people.
Okay, auntie, I get you.
So have a good night, sweetheart.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
When you look at Brandon Johnson's agenda, Brandon Johnson got a real funny agenda. But a lot of that, now that we got, a new administration, a lot of that stuff is going to get exposed. Because, he's going. Let's just ask this question. You're going to Venezuela as a Chicago mayor. Why? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to ask them to stop sending Venezuelans to America? Why? Because Brandon never publicly expressed that he wants immigration to stop. He's talking about comprehensive border control reform, whatever. But it seems like there's a lot going on that at this point in time, we don't know all the facts to. That's a very good question that we need to continue to ask. So thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate you, sister. All right. Well, shout out to our auntie Bonnie from Chicago. Much love. Caller from area code 609, you're on live. What's your name and where you calling from?
What's up, Afro? This is Jim calling from Trent, New Jersey.
Jim, what's on your mind, brother?
Family, watching that, man, just really pissed me off because Mayor Adams spent $6.9 billion. You take a look at this, man. Illegal immigrants receive more in 4 years than FBA have received from the Democrats in 60 years.
It's true.
You hear these numbers and they come talk to us about, hey, no, we got to go through Congress. Then they got to go over here to Jim Clyburn. We don't have the numbers, but these people are just getting money like it's nothing. And for Brandon Johnson, if New York is 6.9, he got to be out. He right behind them. But this goes to show you, man, that this goes to show you that they get out here telling us to, hey, go out here, boycott DEI. We looking like for what? Do you hear these numbers that they spend on illegal immigrants? And you want us to go out here and boycott DEI? Are you kidding me, man? And then you got the sassy girl. She's up here taking up. You point that out too when she said immigrants. No, sister. Illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. You know what I mean? They want us to waste our energy over here talking about DEI, which we don't benefit from. But you spending $6.9 billion, and we got to go through studies and that. The bill been the HR 40, whatever. It's been sitting for 30 years, so basically they don't need no study. So when it come down to it, man, I don't want to see a Democrat in power no more, man, because these numbers, man, I heard that $6.9 billion. I was like, whoa. You know what I mean? And they tell us we need studies. It can't happen. If we get that, the country will fold up. We don't have money like that. Why? But you're giving illegal immigrants, man, free housing and health care. California set aside like $9-something billion for health care. This is crazy, man. And keep up the good work, Afro.
Yep. First of all, and you make a good point. The $6.9 billion, that's not calculating all of the extra money, because you still got to put in healthcare, you still got to put in transportation. That's why I brought up the whole thing with the buses, transportation, healthcare, a lot of stuff, and you still at 6.9 billion. Mind you, this is only one city. This is one single city. Okay, Chicago, he's lying about how much money was spent. And we don't get anything, even with HR 40, even if we say HR 40 is something that we need, even if we did, you mean to tell me 40 decades have passed and we can't get HR 40, but y'all got, and that's not check, but y'all got checks just cut for them upwards to $1 billion. If you count all of the checks, you got all of the cities. I mean, if you got all of the cities, all of the money just specifically for that, that's tens of billions of dollars that's been spent. Tens of billions of dollars throughout the course of these 4 years have been spent on them. And you don't got nobody saying nothing like that for us, doing nothing like that for us. And we're citizens. We're supposed to be here. We're supposed to be here. That's a good point. Thank you, caller.
Don't forget about the Doge. That Doge. Don't
forget
about that money.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? They got all that, and then you don't hear nobody telling them, man, we don't need no money, man. We got to get financial literacy. No one's saying that to them.
True.
No one's talking about no financial literacy. No, man, we get that money. We're gonna be spending on Nikes and all that, man. No one's saying that to them. They just handing out checks. Paying for housing, the whole nine. And up here, I'm in Jersey. I saw illegal immigrants. They've been here illegal 20 years. Got a store. How you illegal? You got a store. It's just crazy, man. But man, I don't want to hold you up. Peace, God.
Peace, brother. That's a good point. That's a good point. They'll come over there, get a house right before you and everything. I'm gonna get to the next caller in just a second. Shout out to our sister, beloved sister Sophia, for the Cash App, and then our sister Victoria for your Cash App. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you both greatly. Also, somebody said in the chat room, somebody asked, I have a question. It's off topic. Can I still call? Yeah, call in. Yeah, you can still call in, ask your question. Appreciate you asking before just calling in. I appreciate you doing that. Let me hit this button. Let me try to hit this button. Come on now. For the next caller. Caller from area code 267. You're on live. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, Afro, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, this is Curtis from Philadelphia.
Curtis, what's on your mind, brother?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I just got back from DC. My flight was this morning. You know, you still got the jet lag. It's not that bad, but had a busy day the last 2 days as you've seen, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, honestly.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on that brother that about well, there are people right that don't even live in America that's trying to destroy it from America within.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You ever heard of I caught it on YouTube, but I can't find it no more. It was called America and the Illuminati, and what George Washington had said that we should have never allowed these people in because the Illuminati was invented since the 1700s by, if I'm right, I think it's by Germans or even Russians that created the Illuminati. The Illuminati, all it means is the enlightened ones. That's all what it means. But if you watch there's a movie with Wesley Snipes, if I'm right, I think it's called The Art of War, and it was a white, I think she was a senator, and she was saying that there are people that don't even live in the United States that control the United States as far as the government, the music industry, all the finances, but they don't live in the United States, but they are literally trying to destroy the United States within. We got people that own the United States. And as a matter of fact, if you go on YouTube, I have it on my phone. It's called the people that rule the world. And you can find these people don't even live in the United States, and they control they control the banks, they control everything, and they trying to destroy the United States within. So that brother was absolutely right, man. That's why we see Mayor, they went to Venezuela, all that kind of stuff, because they was ordered to do that by the elites. You understand? That's why they had a blank paycheck for these illegal immigrants, man. It was no limit, man. And thank God, man, that the FBA, we had stopped them, man, for what was going on, man. So, like I said, keep up the good work, my young brother, man. And I seen you with that suit on, with that picture. You look sharp, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, you look
so
sharp,
the
man.
chat room know,
And
yeah,
like I
this
said,
what he talking about.
Yeah,
I was out there,
and young brother. Yeah, go ahead, Apple.
I'll put it on. Yeah. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. It's not every day I'm in the Capitol, so
Yes, I'm saying. I mean, you had your suit and tie, and you was staying with the young brother and the young sister. I mean, I can say you're young because I'm 64 years old. You know what I mean, man? You understand? Y'all look good, man. And like I said, I can't wait till y'all come to Philadelphia, brother. You understand?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let you.
God bless y'all. Okay.
I'm gonna let it be known, brother. I want to meet you eventually, one of these days. So I'm gonna let it be known, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, me and my wife, man. Yeah, because matter of fact, we going on 25 years, brother.
That's
okay, man. Like I said, keep up because like I said, there are people that, like I said, that don't even live in the United States, man. That own the United States. They own all the industry. They own the banks. They own the music industry. They own everything. They own the internet, man. They own everything, man. But they are people that's literally trying to destroy the United States within, man. Within. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, my brother. You have a blessed day. Okay.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, that's what we got to take. What we do very serious. We got to take what we do very, very serious.
Yes.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
It's my good brother from Philly.
What time is it open in Chicago?
It's almost 10 o'clock. It's 9:49.
Yeah. It's 10:48 in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, y'all.
Okay, man, you have a blessed day, okay?
Eastern Standard Time. All right, brother.
Okay,
Appreciate
brother.
you,
You have a
brother.
blessed day.
You too.
Okay.
You too. 25 years of beautiful FBA marriage. Don't you just love to hear it? You just love to hear it. Caller from area code 919. You're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, how you doing, man? This is Antonio Burnett, aka OFBA Bastard from North Carolina. Let me turn my TV down here. First of all, I just want to say, man, that hey, I like you. First of all, put that back. I like the show, so yeah, okay. I'm steady caller. You know, about the fourth time we done chatted. But I want people to realize that sanctuary cities started where illegals was still crime, and they could report it without having fear of retaliation or being deported. And I don't know how it changed what it is now, but it is what it is. Then second of all, I want to say, you know, that don't forget that, you know, back in back in 2008, 9, 10, something around there, but Obama, he gave them trillions of dollars to the businesses, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying they always find money for things of that nature. And then they brought in these Latinos, immigrants, whatever, and they were, you know, remember they housed them, they get them jobs, they get them businesses, they get them nice cars, all of that. And they'll go for black people really, but they'll go for us really, but to put us in them farms, man, to pick them fruits and you know, that slave labor as far as like prisons and slave labor, you know, pick them fruits and do all this you know, this low grade work, whatever. I don't call no grade work low grade, because if you make money and it support you, you know, it's worthy of it. But like again, man, I was just simply called in to remind people that fact. Yeah. And by the way, you said they're giving them tens of billions of dollars. No, man, they gave them hundreds of billions of dollars. Arrogant. And you know, and one last thing, when it comes to that mayor, I don't know how Chicago works, but I know that in a lot of cities, the mayor can't do anything without the town council voting and approving for it. So we can give the mayor, he is the person out front, and he is the one going to catch the hell for it. But don't forget about the town council that's approving everything he does. Now, I mean, I don't know how Chicago works. I'm just telling you about how a lot of most cities work with their mayor. The mayor is just a mouthpiece, and the town council will really make the decision. It's just like the president can't do anything without Congress. He can talk, yeah. He can make executive orders, but really the Congress can go against those. You know, they can and make them have to go to court to get off those executive orders, regardless. So we have to keep that in mind too. That you know that we're looking at the mayors and we talk about the mayors, but don't forget there's a town council behind them that's approving all the stuff he's doing.
That's true.
Because I haven't seen, but the town council took any of their mayors to court or filed any kind of lawsuit or nothing against the mayor. So until we see that, then we're gonna have to hold them all accountable, not just some of them. We're gonna have to hold them all accountable. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my point. And I'm gonna land right there, my brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. That's a good point. That's a good point. They all got to get locked up. They all got to go, because it's not just one person. And they'll throw one person under the bus. They'll throw one person under the bus quick. They'll throw him under the bus, be all like, see, Johnson did it all by himself, and he was the only one who needs to be held accountable for it. So we got rid of Johnson, problem solved. You know, and the reason why is because the people working alongside Johnson are white. Let's be honest. All of this stuff going on, a lot of this stuff, they're white investors and all of that stuff going on, and they don't want to send him to jail. They'll throw the black mayor under the bus, even though he deserves it. Not defending him whatsoever at all. He deserves it, but he's not the only one who deserves it, is what I'm saying. He's not the only one. Thank you for that. That's a good point. Caller from area code 816. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from? Nah, come on now. Now he just hung up, or she, I don't know, just hung up. How you gonna hang up? All right, now you're back. Caller from area code 816. You're on live. What's your name and where you calling from?
Oh, hi, Afro. This is Tracy from Kansas City, Missouri. How you doing?
Oh, Tracy, how you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to say, you know, good job being up there listening to that. It's really disgraceful how black politicians either can't or won't represent for us. Deep down, they know what they're doing is wrong, but they're getting money, so they don't care. And now I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, I called you before. I let you know that Missouri is supposedly a non-sanctuary state, but I mean, that's flooding them here as well. So, I mean, this is a big organized effort they're having to what I call Latinizing the country, you know, and they are not going to stop, sadly. But we can do what we can. We're going to fight it, though. But that's the goal, is to Latinize this country. And I read an article, and they're estimating by 2047, 2048, that this country will be majority Latino. I don't know if anybody saw those numbers, but
yeah, I've heard of, no, I don't know exactly the date, but I've heard of other numbers and calculations similar to that as well too.
yeah. And then I want to say, and one more thing, I let it go. Trump can do what he can, but the problem is, because everybody's mad at him, we're gonna mess around and get a whole bunch of Democrats, and they're gonna undo everything you did. So the cycle is just gonna continue, and that's the problem.
That's true. Trump said in his speech the other day that there's really nothing he can do. He can find a cure to cancer, and the Democrats will block it. They don't care about the country. They don't care about the country. They will side with, and as we've seen Jasmine Crockett side with Canada, China, Mexico. We've seen them. They will side with another country, a whole nother country, because of what Trump is doing. They will say it doesn't matter what Trump does. If Trump wants to defend the world from an alien invasion, we siding with the Martians. That's what they own. So every single thing he does, they try to block. And if they can't block it, they try to reverse it. Everything.
Yeah, and it's sad. and I'm not explaining. That's what's going on, man. It's like I don't know. But I do want to say, you know, hey, everybody keep their heads up. If anybody's trying to run for office, get into the city councils as much as we can. You know, we can fight this though. It's a process though.
We can.
But we're going to have to get into political office though. More and more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true. We do need, you know, we need all hands on deck. So we need people, you know, on a community level. We need people on a politician level. We need the lawyer. We need everybody. We need all hands on deck. We need a whole team. So we do need foundational Black Americans who are on code involved in politics. Because right now we ain't got none. Okay, and if we do have some, I'm not saying there's absolutely none ever, period. But if we do have some, they're not in a position to really make that much of a difference. And it's unfortunate, but we need to change that.
Right. I got one more question. Do you know do you know the population of non-Black Americans versus Black Americans at this point? Because I'm really curious about that right now.
Yeah, okay. I've been looking into that. That's a good question. I've been looking into that. They really aggregate when they do the census, they really aggregate the data. So that's why a lot of people are trying to go to the OMB. So the data of who, because they just say Black. So the data of Black or African American can get disaggregated based off of lineage. So as of right now, there's not a definite number. A lot of people will throw out a number. There's a lot of different numbers online, but according to the census, there's not been an official number yet. But based off of what I have known, based off of immigration, if they say, if just based off the census, if they say Black people are like 44 million, I would assume that 41 or 42 of the 44 million is Black, foundational Black American. And then the rest are immigrants. Because most of the immigrants, be honest, they're really first or second generation. Third generation, it really does drop. And then you don't tend to have many fourth generation Black immigrants in this country. You really don't. So I would say maybe about the 40 million, 41, around that. And that's only if you want to say that the data that the census is saying as far as the black population is accurate, you know. So I don't want to give out a number and that number not be correct, but I would, if I was to give out anything, it would be around that.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Thank you. I now appreciate your call.
Bye.
All right. You know, I think that's pretty fair. I think, you know, we've been on here for a good amount of time. I think we'll wrap it up right here. Yeah, we can wrap it up right here. We can wrap it up right there. Yeah, we got a lot of people. Yeah, we got to get the real numbers. So shout out to all of the people. I know it's a lot of people working with the OMB and everything. Because when they say black, let me get the number off the screen. When they say black, you know, that means anybody who can consider themselves black. So you can have an Afro-Latina immigrant and you'd be all like, I'm a black American. I'm an African American. You know, you can have a second generation Haitian or Nigerian. I'm an African American. So they just put everybody in this one big group. So and they'll say, okay, this is how many people we consider black in this country, you know. So what a lot of people are trying to do with the OMB is disaggregate that data because we're all lumped in. We're trying to really delineate from that, you know. So I don't want to give a number that's incorrect, but that is it from what I have seen. Clearly we're the majority, we're the overwhelming majority. So from what I have seen, it would be around that. It would be around that. And that's not to say that we're not a higher percentage of the population than what the census is admitting to, you know, because there's a lot of people make that argument, you know. So that's what I would say as far as that's concerned. You know, little under 45 million. Yeah, there's some people who say it's a little under 40 something million. There's some people who say that because they keep saying 13% of the population. They try to dance around this 13, 14%. You know, I've seen some people say 15. I've never seen nobody go any higher than 15% of the population. So it's like really between that 13 to 15%. But some people saying it's about a good 20%. So, you know, people make arguments, and there's arguments on different levels that they have some evidence to back it up. But I don't want to say anything that I don't know for a fact is correct. But family, I'm telling you guys right now, the sanctuary city mayors, their time is coming, or their time has came, and it's over with. It's over with. Now you got Mayor Eric Adams, who's essentially, he's compliant to the best of his ability. You know, Mayor Adams, he might as well be a Republican the way he moving, at least as far as immigration is concerned. Brandon Johnson, he's been getting a lot of donations. He's been getting a lot of stuff. He's been getting a lot of little gifts, and he's been getting away with a little bit too much for a lot of people's taste. And what's unfortunate for him is that not only does he not have the support of really the Republicans at all, he's losing support of his own aldermen, but most importantly, he has absolutely no support, none, zero, from the black grassroots. That's right. You think me, Ms. Jackson, and Dave, you think we went out to DC to support? We went out to DC specifically for that guy. Well, we also handled a lot of other business. We handled a lot of other business while we was down there. And I'm letting y'all know we was busy from start to finish. From the moment we landed, we was in meetings and interviews and all of that stuff all day when we was there yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Then we came back today. So we was out there handling business the entire way through. The whole way through out there handling business. All right. Oh, but his day is coming. His day is coming. I want it to be known that foundational Black American energy, the Mujara spirit, that's coast to coast, baby. That's coast to coast. Yeah, this FBA spirit, this FBA energy, that's from Chicago to DC to Atlanta. How many people we have called in from LA? Shout out to my Cali family. From Chicago to Cali, We got brothers from Philly. We got brothers from New Jersey. We got a sister from Missouri. We got people all over the place. Okay, from Alabama, Chicago, Georgia. Come on now. This spirit, this is going all over the place. If they thought we was playing, they thought wrong. And it was a mistake on their part. They would never make that mistake again. I guarantee you that. I promise you that. I can guarantee you, like I'm Denzel Washington. You know how Denzel be guaranteeing people stuff? I'm guaranteeing you that. I'm guaranteeing you that if Brandon Johnson gets locked up, he's going to turn into I'm getting locked up because I'm a black man and black this, black that. No, and that would have worked. That would have worked on previous generations in the past. That would have worked, but it ain't going to work no more. It ain't going to work no more. The whole I'm black, because the reason why they do that is because they understand that they know black people, even if it's in politics, they get a harder deal. They understand that, and they know that black people, as far as foundational black Americans, we can sympathize with black people getting a harder deal, getting a bad hand, okay, being overly criticized, because we can relate to that, okay? So they understand that black people will tend to, foundational black Americans, tend to, just off of principle, kind of be more lenient, okay, and more understanding to another black person, because we can all relate, because we're all of the same lineage. First off, Brandon Johnson, your lineage is still in question. The jury's still out on your lineage, number one. Number two, I don't care if you was fully FBA on both your mama's side, on both your daddy's side, your great-grandmama, your great-granddaddy, your great-great-grandmama, your great-great-granddad. Don't care. I could care less, okay? Brandon Johnson has declared himself a complete traitor to the black community, okay? He's allowed these illegal immigrants to run rampant all throughout the city using taxpayers, foundational black American taxpayer dollars to fund them. So much so that the city of Chicago went in debt. And what did he do when the city of Chicago went in debt? He raised the taxes on the citizens. That's what he did. He said he wanted to raise property taxes on the citizens. And if he couldn't do that, which he couldn't do that, but since he couldn't do that, he said, you know what, damn it, I'm going to raise the taxes on every damn thing else, so much so y'all paying the same amount. So now the city has to suffer for something that we tried to solve. We tried to stop, but Brandon Johnson wouldn't let us do it. So if he goes to jail, I want to be right there. I want to be right there. I want to take pictures of his cell before and after. Okay, I want to see him in the suit before, and then I want to see him in a jumpsuit later. That's what I want to see. That can go for all of them. All of them have let their people down. All of them have let their cities down. This is why, y'all. This is why Trump won. You think Trump won because these sanctuary cities, people like them? You think that Trump won because people like the way the Democrats are handling these sanctuary cities? No. Every single last one of them, you don't see their constituency backing them up and singing their praises, defending them, giving them any bit of grace. You don't see that because they don't deserve it. Not Eric Adams, he doesn't. Not Mike Johnston, he doesn't. Not Brandon Johnson. Try to say those names. They twist you up. They twist you up, family. They twist you up. Or this woman who got the cross on her head because that was the ashes from her being Catholic. If she is Catholic, I don't know. But regardless, she's sitting up there doing the most. For a second there, I thought she was going to be breastfeeding in front of Congress so she can get some sympathy. Oh, I got my baby. I got to change my baby's diaper. I thought she was going to be doing that, burping the baby in front of the microphone for some sympathy because she knows she's caught up too. It's over for all of them. Brandon Johnson saw Jessica Jackson. Did y'all understand that? Eyes almost fell out of his skull. He didn't think that we was going to be out there. He didn't expect us to be out there. We didn't let nobody know we was coming out there. That was a big surprise to everybody. It was a huge surprise to everybody. We didn't let nobody know we was going to be out there. But I want y'all to know that what we doing in Chicago, that's nationwide, baby. We not stopping in Chicago. We not done in Chicago. There's still a lot of work to be done. We not done. But this foundational Black American spirit, oh, this is nationwide. We taking this to the White House. We taking this to Congress. We taking this to New York. We taking this to Atlanta. We taking this to LA. We taking this all over the nation. We are not playing with nobody. I'm not playing with nobody. I told you guys, I got something coming up for you guys. Bam, I'm in DC. Ain't nobody even knew about it. And I want y'all to know something else. I'm a man of surprises. And I'm not done yet. I'm not done. I'm not done. There's still some stuff I'm working on. Not done. Can't tell you guys like I couldn't tell you guys I was going to be at the Capitol, but I'm not done. The year is still just getting started, y'all. It's just getting started. And we got a good page right now. We on a good page right now. We are doing good. I appreciate every single last one of y'all. Because it's not just me. It's everybody. We are all, that's why I'm saying we, not me. We are all doing good. Now, what I need from you guys is to follow me on my various social media platforms. That's Afro Elite on Instagram. Link in the description below. And then the Afro Elite on X. Link also in the description below. Shout out to you guys for that. Also, make sure that you guys hit your that like button and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification button. Make sure you hit all of that. Make sure you guys do that. Let me see if there was one more. There was a couple more. Shout out to Hurricane. He says most black politicians today are minstrels. They are. Look at Ayanna Pressley. Look at Jasmine Crockett. Look at Al Green. Look at, well, is Al Green? What is that? Look at all of them. Clowns, straight clowns. I should write a book. You know what? I've been thinking about writing a book. And I've been thinking about that for a minute. I've been thinking about that. So yeah, that was Al Green. And I'm going to have to talk. It was so much to talk about tonight. And I wanted to open up the phones. I'm going to have to talk about that Trump speech and how they showed out Jasmine Crockett. I don't know what she's doing on TikTok. It's just so much. We got so much stuff to cover, y'all. So that's why I need y'all to subscribe. That's why I need y'all to like. That's why I need y'all to hit that subscribe button, because we still got a lot to cover. Y'all. Y'all make sure y'all do all that stuff. Okay? It's so much going on right now. And I got so much planned for you guys. It's so much planned for the movement. So I need you guys to subscribe. All right. And with that being said, my brothers and my sisters, I appreciate every single last one of you guys. I appreciate all of the cash apps. I appreciate all of the super chats. I appreciate all of the likes and the subscriptions. I appreciate you guys. I sincerely do. From the bottom of my heart, I know you guys know I'm telling you the truth. Be one salute to every single last one of you all. And of course, you all have a good one. Stay blessed, family.